Live, what's up? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My man, back on the LS show. What's cracking? That sound good or what? Sound. Keep talking. Okay, my friend. I don't really. For the first time, I don't got a fuckload to talk about. How's everybody feeling? Angela, how you feeling?
Good, man.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. Angela, I was right with that bronze medal. You came through, my man. I picked you for the bronze medal.
Look,
What's up, man? Can you hear me? Hear me all right? I just
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Test, test, test. You guys can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain, Captain Charisma, can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, bet. Okay, man. So let's get it cracking. Listen, we won't waste a lot of time. You guys know how it goes. people are gonna kind of roll in as they roll in, roll out as they roll out. The biggest thing is just making sure that everyone's voices are heard. I'm not gonna front, man. I'm excited about having everybody on this thing, man. I like to talk. You know what I mean? I know y'all boys like to talk, with the exception of Ian.
Saying that.
So honestly, man, we just kind of go down the line, man. For those of you that are watching the screen, I mean, you literally see, we have history going on right now, man. So we're just kind of going down the line. Six Pack, you're up. Let people know who you are. If they're living under a rock, they don't know who you are. Give them a shout. Let them know.
All right, Six Pack Lapidat, do the host the King of Lifts, run the King of Lifts, do commentating with the IPF, and do some lifting every now and then, my man.
Just a little bit. Just a
A
little,
little bit here and
Just
there.
a little bit. Hey, don't let him try to lull you to sleep. Six Pack is he's world class, man. This cat's world class, and
I feel a little humble right now with the
Bro,
people
you
we got,
listen.
so I'm trying. I'm picking my spots when I'm highlighting. You gotta.
we got Ian. Wait, listen, Ian Bell is out here, so you gotta be humble with it. You know what I mean? Like, this dude's got everything.
we got some legendary coming from like families of legends, for God's sake, man. So I gotta,
out here. Yeah.
but my dad's a computer salesman, okay? So I'm not coming in hot like that.
Yeah, man. Ian came out. He came out the womb a legend. I mean, must be nice.
Right. That's right.
That being said, let's move on to Ian Bell. Those that live on the rock that don't know who you are, let them know.
Yeah, my name's Ian. I occasionally lift weights, a couple national championships, a couple junior world championships, a world record here and there. Yeah, when I'm not lifting weights, I'm a therapist. That's the majority of my time. But yeah, excited to be on the pod with y'all.
That's what's up. Obviously, X ain't here. Reggie, my man Reg, let him
What's
know.
up? What's up? My name is Reggie. 27 years old, live in Tampa. I coach powerlifters. I'm going back to school for PTA school. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Big fan of the sport. Been participating for like 4 or 5 years now.
Bet. That's it.
I mean, what else you want me to say, man?
Man, I don't know. I thought you were gonna say more than that. Okay, bet.
We're all modest today, though.
Bro, everybody, Angelo, my man.
What's up?
The
Angelo
Cigar Sheriff.
Portillo, 83 kg powerlifter in the USAPL. I eat pasta during meets. I deadlift well. The other two lifts need work at. My biggest claim to fame, I think, is getting third at this Raw Nationals. So, and I am the host of Two White Lights, and I do a little commentating on the side too.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. We got those primetime meets coming up. So I'm
He
the guy-
also had
Plug
the
yeah.
biggest 83 kilo deadlift of all time, I'd admit it too. He's being humble.
I got Inhario Hussein. He's got me on that one.
But you had it though. You broke it though at
At
one
a
point.
point.
Yeah.
Erased. No one gives a shit about
Okay.
750 anymore. 750's done. I pulled it on my second attempt.
Back to the crib.
It's all done now.
X, that's you. You on right now. Go ahead. Let them know who you are. Let's go.
Oh man, shit. I'm just a weak little guy with all these strong individuals in the room, man. You know, I used to lift weights, and then I met Ian, and I got embarrassed. You know? But nah, I'm just a spectator, man. I helped out this year in Nationals. That was it. Helped Greg, helped Ian as best I can.
Yeah.
That was it, man. You know, I used to lift. That's it.
Hey, wait, I'm not knocking it. That's what's up. All right, we got Darrington just in. I don't even know if Darrington's gonna put on his video.
You don't mean the hell out of us.
Yeah, man, Darrington.
Hey, you
D,
gotta.
I don't know, D,
gotta
can you
do
hear
that,
us?
What?
Can you hear us? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your video on, or you going video list?
Obviously, my video isn't on. I'm gonna turn it on.
All right. Well, while you turning it on, give us a little intro of yourself.
I'm a 105 lifter and a strength coach, and that's it.
Oh my gosh.
That's Darrington, bro.
Man of many words. Jesus. All right. Well, then that's it. All right. So, we like I said, man, this thing is really going to be just just kind of a good, bad, and ugly, just kind of a view of really our impression of Nats, how we felt Nats went. It's unique in that either we were a spectator or we were, a viewer and or we were a competitor. So there's a lot of first hand, second hand, third hand accounts. And I think the cool thing with it is just because there are a lot of views. We'll get more of a closer to or more of a well-rounded view of it, not necessarily from just the perspective of one one type of person. And obviously, man, having six pack in this bad boy, this guy, his eyes are everywhere in terms of the powerlifting community. And honestly, I think the biggest reason I want a six pack on this bad boy because we're trying to get these these equipped guys a little bit more love out there and get them under the eyes of the man behind the king of the lifts, man. And
there's an agenda on this. Okay.
It's always,
listen, but let me say, when you said for a broad spectrum, we got six pack on it. I was gonna say what you done was gonna be like, I do got a blind side that I need more coverage on, and this was like the beginning actually, right afterwards when Tony came through, Joey Cap came through and slid me some videos, and I was like, okay, because I can't speak on the equipped as much, man. So yeah, I'll have to listen to it, take that in.
But it's crazy, man. Like I've known Greg who'll be coming on later. I've known him and Ian and X for quite some time, man, and they've done a lot of obviously a lot of equipped lifting. Some of the best in the world, with it, and obviously, their resume speaks for themselves, man. But I think the longer that we've been friends, the more I've actually kind of tried to take more of a look into, that equipped end of things, because there's some crazy weight being moved, and I think, us as being predominantly raw lifters, we tend to get on that, raw or die, it's raw or nothing else, and we forget that there's guys, there's guys and girls out there that are literally moving, 2 and 3 times the weight that we're moving, man, and totaling stuff that's out of this world. And regardless of it, whether or not they're equipped or not, at the end of the day, man, the body has to move that weight. And it's such a different beast altogether. It's a different skill set altogether. It's a different sport altogether. While it's still under the same umbrella, it's a different beast altogether, man. And while I had to, give respect where respect is due in terms of a raw lifter can lift raw, but it's hard for a raw lifter to move over to equipped, whereas an equipped lifter can lift equipped and then go raw, still excel, go back to equipped and excel. So, a lot of, and there's quite a few, especially in the Eastern European areas where, raw lifting is just a training tool. It's not even really taken that serious, for a lot of their top equipped lifters. So I always have to kind of, keep that in mind, realizing as much as I do love this raw stuff, at the end of the day, man, there's a whole nother beast on the other side. And, until we get to that point, we're at the highest of high levels in terms of, I'm talking about world games, things of that nature, equipped still must be given that respect, that a lot of people just, a lot of people don't know that it's still popping. So, letting you know right now, it's alive and well. So just, from you guys, you guys' overall impression of Raw Nats, man, we'll just kind of go down the line. Reggie, you're up on the screen right now. So, what was, you obviously you were there, you were a spectator, man, you got to watch us all lift and everything. Kind of what was your impression of really how the event went?
Well, I like the fact that it was earlier because, I go down there just like to hang out with my friends and family, right? So after they're done, I want to hang out with them because like in 2019 and previously before that, like y'all be done at like fucking 11 o'clock, like mad late. So it's like by the time y'all done, everybody's tired, you need to shower, etc. Right? So I like the fact that they're doing that. Now I know they're going to increase the capacity next year, but I hope it's not like back to what it was in 2019. Even if that means a lot of lifters can't come, for me, I like that better. And I feel like, I don't know, I just like that better. They did a better job of like diversifying the music because usually they just play, rock. This time, like they actually were playing rap. I'm like, oh, y'all know who like the Migos are, right? So I like that a lot. And overall, it's pretty good. The only thing I didn't like is when the lifters were trying to lift like a world record attempt or something like that. they had the strobe lights on, and for a second that's cool, but it was going on the whole time. I'm like, I can't even see what's going on. I see Angelo shaking his head because I'm like, I know he was like, all right, this is a little distracting right now. We having a rave when I'm trying to hit this PR. So overall, I like it. I like it.
Honestly, that's like those are actually good points. Again, there's a lot of things that, I mean, if you're lifting, you don't necessarily pay attention to. I kind of just black out, just kind of go in and kind of do my thing. But I honestly, I honestly didn't even really notice the strobes and then a lot of just like the extra stuff, until after it was all said and done. So those are like awesome, really good points. Angelo, you're actually up next on the screen. What's kind of your overall impressions of it from that perspective of a competitor?
Man, it was just good to see everyone again.
Facts.
Because we didn't get 2020. Last time I really saw everyone was 2019 in the Arnold, actually, and that was a COVID meet too, because it was a completely different experience. So 2021, it was just nice to see everyone. As far as the competitor goes, it was an honor sharing the platform and the warm-up room with like the lifters that I was the outsider looking in at 2019. I wasn't in prime time. I was out of the top 10. Looking at those guys in the warm-up room and being their contemporaries was an experience I can't even describe. That was really great to see, some guys that I've followed in the sport forever, like Noriega, Russ, Rudin, so many guys that I just really wanted to compete against. And that part was great. It's going to be a different Raw Nationals because of COVID, because, they put a cap on it really earlier. So there was a 2-platform meet. I particularly like the primetime session. That is something that I really enjoy. It's something that mimics professional sports. I think as good as it gets in powerlifting, I do like the primetime session. Typically, I go out around 11 o'clock anyways, so that's works for me. Primetime, then I hit the bars at like 11:30, 12 o'clock or something. So that works as far as like the hangout perspective. But I gotta say though, with Reggie's point with the strobe lights, now I didn't mind it at first. It works with a 1-platform meet. But if you see on my second deadlift, Taylor Atwood, while I was about to pull the same exact weight as him, he pulled it before me. I had a rave going on when I was trying to focus on the important deadlift that would put me in a placing here. And I'm sitting there like, for 2 reasons. 1, I'm going to wait till these strobe lights stop before I deadlift because it's distracting. And 2, I see the entire crowd looking on the platform next to me at Taylor Atwood's amazing deadlift. And I'm like, I'm not going to lift while you guys are turned away from me. I'm like, I'm going to lift while you guys all turn your heads back on me. Call me a narcissist, call me vain. That's what happened. So I wasn't about to do that. I like the idea though. I like the production value.
No, honestly, I will say this: throughout the years, especially those of us have been doing it for so long, the production value has definitely gotten better year by year by year by year. But I completely agree. I don't know that I would have wanted, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's dope what Taylor did, because Taylor literally put on, that was insane. He just put on the show of all shows, but at the same time, you still want to be able to get your just due. Like, hey, listen, let me do my. In
my defense, I did not know he pulled 750. If I knew he pulled 750, I would have turned around and clapped for him myself.
Absolutely.
Like I didn't. I thought he might have tipped an American record. I thought he might have put like 722, 730. I didn't know he had the old all-time world record at 83, let alone 74.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. I would have turned around and given. I would have probably bowed to him.
Only thing is, had you done that, then you would have timed out. So there's that whole thing, But hey, it is what it is. Give the man his flowers. But yeah, man, I can definitely appreciate that. Of course, I couldn't even get. I don't even think I can get 705 off the ground. My back was done. So you know what? We're not gonna talk about deadlifts on my end. All right, so 6-pack. Obviously, you had an opportunity to watch Super Nationals and see everything that went on. What was your overall impression of what you saw?
So my impression is different than everybody else here because I'm watching it from the outside. I'm not even American. So I'm watching it from, I'm representing the rest of the world, I guess, one dude. But yeah, I mean, it's entertaining. In terms of the Nationals under the entire IPF, it's obviously the number one most competitive most hyped, most you got the most stars. A lot of sitting world champions show up. So if you beat one of these individuals, you're also beating the reigning world champion. This time it's reigning from 2 years ago, so it's slightly different. But some nationals, this person was just the world champion 3 months ago, and now you get a chance to try to beat them. So it's in a way, it's like you go, yeah, how was your nationals? Pretty good, man. Won, beat the world champion. It's high stakes, and we saw some battles break out, like the 57s, 93s, and then we seen like a historical performance by Taylor Atwood that. I knew he was gonna do good, but this was, it was like, holy shit! And TSG was so quick with that infographic with all the stats. They knew that shit was on there like 5 minutes. Like you guys knew you had one.
Bro, they knew what
chamber.
They had coming in from like out the gate.
Dude, I was like, how quickly you guys were like. Anyways,
they had
yeah,
that
man, it was
drafts.
Yeah. Like they probably had like 4 or 5 ready, ballpark, you know. And then if it didn't go well, they were like, "Well, just happy to be here. Thank you everybody for your support." Right? But no, man, yeah, it was super entertaining. I would say it was a good one. And I mean, look, after 2 years, fuck, I was foaming at the mouth for a powerlifter meet. Yeah. So it'd be hard to let me down at this point.
And seriously, I was glad. I mean, like I said, I think that was. Angelo kind of pointed to it was good seeing everyone, and I'm not gonna front coming in. It's like, man, I don't even really know if I want to see you. I just want to kind of go and kind of lift. But when I got there, kind of, you kind of feel the electricity. And plus it was so much, so many different meets going on at the same time, and it was a lot more electric than I anticipated. So the addition of having two disciplines going at the same time, man, that was. I'm not gonna front. I liked it. There's a few of us that or I should say a few lifters that that are able. Jen Thompson being one of those that are able to do both. All the time. And I think that was the only thing that would have sucked had more people wanted to do both. There are a few lifters that are able to do both disciplines. But aside from that, man, I liked. I liked how electric it felt as soon as I walked in, and of course seeing everyone, because you nailed it. You really don't you hadn't really seen anybody for like almost 2 years, pretty much, and if you had an opportunity to go to, a meet of any type, it obviously wasn't as big as this. So, it was just, as soon as you walked in, it was just big out of the gate. Just honestly, just seeing sponsorship tables. That was cool seeing vendors. I hadn't seen a vendor table in so long. I'm like, hey, I guess we're official now. So yeah, I totally agree. Darrington was another that actually, had an opportunity to kind of watch, from, kind of like you said, six pack, kind of from the outside looking in. Darrington, what was what was your impression of Raw Nats or Raw Nats, Equip Nats, Raw Bench, Quit Bench, just Super Nats all together? What was your impression overall?
I think it was too much going on, to be honest. I don't generally like I've told y'all, I don't like lifting in prime time, but I do like if I'm just watching it from the outside, then I definitely like it instead of having all these people together and just watching, whatever.
So it was too much for you. Like you felt like it was just way too much going on at one time,
or at least watching it on the stream. Yeah.
So it was a kind of a busy stream. That's one thing I'll be honest and I'll say I have not gone back and watched the stream. Well, I know a lot of people have gone back, done some video rips and things of that nature. I haven't gone back to watch the stream, so I haven't really, really dissected it, I guess, as much from that perspective. But was it kind of a busy? It was like more of a busy stream. Was it? I'm asking. I really don't know much about it.
So like, I was only watching a few people in each class or whatever. So they would do their attempt. Then I would have to wait a long period of time just to see them do their next attempt. So I would just do something else instead of seeing all the best lifters go back to back. Which
I get what you're saying.
Prefer.
So I guess maybe something, in terms of formatting, maybe, I know it's weird saying it, but maybe like have it along the lines of like where it's almost in a point of production where it's almost back to back to back with just the top lifters going. Maybe not necessarily a prime time sort of way of doing it, but just, you know, I mean, condensing the talent, condensing the lifters to where no matter what, you're going to have the top cheese going. You know what I mean? Again, I'm just kind of going off of, you know, what you're saying. I mean, I think that, honestly, I think that would be kind of cool where, you know, I mean, I'm not going to front. Nationals felt like Nationals for the first time in a long time in terms of the majority of the people that were there. I mean, it was anybody's game at any given point in time. If you missed more than twice, hell, if you missed more than once, you know, hell, some they go for 9 for 9. It didn't matter. But if you missed, there was a very high possibility that you did not have a chance to get that dub. I like that feeling of danger. I like that feeling of like, hey man, you know, rule one, don't miss. If you miss, it might be a wrap for you. Again, for me, I like the whole idea of I want it to be as competitive as possible. I want Nationals to feel like Nationals, not like a sign up. And this Nationals felt more like a Nationals than a lot of Nationals that I've been in the past. So yeah, I'm with that. I like that idea of possibly just, you know, condensing it even more, maybe raising that total just a little bit more. And rather than, hey, you know what, if we have some open spots, hey bro, listen, these are the spots. You know, if the top 20, top 13, top 14, whatever, if these people don't end up coming, well, that's it. You know, we're not dropping the total. We're not letting anybody else get in. It just is what it is. So I don't know. Again, that's just me. I'm just honest. I'm just like kind of thinking out loud. You guys are along for the ride. We do have X. X was there as X was there as a bit of a spectator. He was a handler. I mean, he did coach. He did a little bit of everything, man. So you have honestly, of all of us, you probably have the most unique take because you did wear legit more than one hat. I think Ian wore a little bit more than one hat in a lot of respects, but at the end of the day, I mean, Ian had records to crush and, you know, a legacy to keep alive. So X, I said what I said, Ian, I don't care. X, you probably wore the most hats of all of us there at Super Nationals, man. Kind of give me your impression overall of it all.
Man, like it was good just to be there again, honestly, because you know I really wasn't even gonna go until like I was like, man, Ian, LS, and Greg gonna be there lifting, and then you know all our side talks outside of here, we talking about it coming up. I haven't been in that since 2015, so I was like, shit, man, let me go. It was great to see everybody. A lot of people I haven't seen in forever, man, and especially being able to be there, you know, and handle Greg. You know, I know Greg since we was little, you know, and I met you and Ian at your first meet and my first meet at a UT meet, I think.
Yep.
So I was definitely going to be there to help Greg with whatever, and then with Ian, same thing. Whatever he needed, you know, I was gonna help him. Greg, I was just there just to support, make sure he kept his head on straight, and being back there, it wasn't too crazy in the back as far as handling coaching. It got a little crazy. Like when the big time equipped guys started lifting, which like when Ian, it got a little crazy back there, trying to get everything, you know, warmed up. You got people like Ian trying to warm up with 7 son. The next dude, Cap next to him, doing the same thing. Then another guy next to him doing the same way. It was a little crazy, but besides that, it was surprisingly well structured, I think, for what was going on back there. I'm not mad at it in the back or whatnot. On the outside, when I was spectating, when you were lifting, for instance, I think it was well put together. The lights was a little bit crazy. Mm-hmm. Like after the 3rd time, I was like, all right, I'm done with this shit. Like I wouldn't want to lift in front of it ever. I just cut them shits off while I'm lifting. But I have no complaints about the meet overall. It was a great experience. I was happy to be there. See my boys lift, see Ian do what he did. Ian, you better talk your shit in about 5 seconds when I finish too, because I will if you don't. But it was great, man. It was great.
Yeah, I'll definitely second that, man. I think that was. I did like I like having everybody together, man. You know, I mean, and you know, I think again, if you're, you know, it would have been cool to be able to do both. You know what I mean? But not a lot of people, just have that. Not a lot of us built that way. But I think I do agree. This, after obviously all the Raw stuff is done, and you get a chance to really see, these giants moving giant weight. You know what I mean? And again, with the exception of a few Raw, super heavies, man, a few 120 pluses, and of course Dennis Cornelius. I mean, Jared Martin, of course. You really don't see that kind of just insane weight being thrown around. It's just, man, it was just crazy, seeing like Joe Cap just throwing on weight, and then just seeing Ian throwing on weight, and just, I know at a couple instances they were like, hey man, are they gonna have enough kilos up front? I remember we said that a couple times, like, are they gonna have enough kilos up front? And I was like, bro, they actually might not have enough up front. They're gonna have to pull some from in the back, because at one point I do remember us having to pull kilos from other stations in order just for these boys to have enough weight, on the bar. Which, if you haven't been at a, if you, like most of us, if you haven't been in a meet, you've been starved for a powerlifting meet, for almost 2 years plus. It was cool seeing just all these big ass red kilo plates just being moved, from one side to the next. You know what I mean? For, arguably, 2 and 3 of the world's, best lifters in the game right now, just going at it. So I think, I do agree with you, X. I think that was a cool part, seeing the big dudes move big weight. But I mean, just the prep in the back, I was very impressed with just with the warm up room in the back. To me, it was tight quarters. You know what I mean? But at no point was it like just out of control. Everyone had their station. Everyone was able to kind of get their their lifting in, and there really wasn't much fighting or anything like that in terms of space, But again, I think that, I can point out again, because I am a Raw dude, equipped guys, the equipped guys and girls, just so much more accommodated to one another, because I think you guys understand the amount of time it takes, for prep in between reps, wrapping and things of that nature. I think you guys are very well aware of your space, the time that's needed in between, reps and sets. So there wasn't much stepping of toes, man. And I was very appreciative of that. I mean, that was something, I mean, especially with my meet coming up, that was something that I kind of kept in mind, and I actually, stole a couple of things from Nats in terms of just space. So that I really like that idea. Ian, again, the most decorated one of us all. To be honest, you've been in more meets than any of us. Cool thing, fun fact, I've talked about it a couple times before. X and my first meet, you were actually our head ref. So that was, what I'm saying, like, how this young cat gonna tell me how I, what I'm saying? I'm like, who is this dude looking? Why this young dude in front of me? And then come to find out, this is the young dude that has all the records going. Oh, that's who he is. Yeah, man. So, your take is probably, of all of us, is the one I'm most interested in hearing, because you've been in the game, but this is the first time coming back and really just diving off into the game, for you, in quite some time, man. So give me your overall impression of Nats, brother.
Yeah, so this is my first Nats since 2016, I think, is the last time I competed. I went to Nats and equipped Nats in 2019 in Chicago. But yeah, the production value was great. I think it's been stepping up every single year. Obviously, this was a really unique Nats, and one thing I was thinking, this is kind of like a once in a lifetime experience. I don't think there will ever be a Nats like this ever again. And so I feel like this is my only opportunity. I could see people do bench nationals, and then see people I never get to interact with the Raw guys as much as I want to. So I got to see all Raw Nats, like, in person. Absolutely. Like, that was insane. And I think a lot of us equipped guys, we've also competed Raw, most of us, even if it was like 10 or 15 years ago. Like, we've done Raw meets, and I think for most of us, we have an appreciation of Raw lifting. So it was insane to see guys like Angelo pull crazy stupid weight, and Taylor and like all those dudes just do crazy shit on the platform and experience that in person. And also just to experience like that depth in all the classes in Raw. It's insane. and I think something that we don't have nationally in Equip. So that was really cool to see. And I feel like, the warm-up room, it was tight. Warm-up rooms are always tight for Equip people. But you can move around. It wasn't that bad. Structure wasn't that bad. I like the flow throughout the week and how they set it up with the different nationals that they did. I feel like the stream can always be a little bit better. I don't know. I would have liked it if they had commentators for each platform.
Yeah.
Just had like 2 people for both platforms. So that would have been cool if you could have clicked on the link and you had commentators for that platform and, they weren't kind of going back and forth. But overall, I thought it was a good experience. Daytona was cool. I thought it was a good meet.
Actually, we just have Greg. Greg just entered. Greg, are you driving right now?
Greg. That's not good.
Greg's driving right now.
I gotta be against the law.
When Greg, when you get settled, hit us up, and then you can speak on it. All right, cool. Yeah. So we'll wait. We want to be safe at least. One thing. And again, you'll see right here. We had a question. Captain Charisma said, how do you feel about the mixing of open and raw lifters? And what was your opinion of the video quality in the broadcast? Ian kind of, he touched on that. I will say that the video quality, the production it's always getting better. It's getting better and better every time. So I'm a fan of how well they've been doing in terms of just, raising the bar. And so far it's getting closer to, one of those things where, usually you go to Raw Nats, usually you go to the Arnold, you go to Worlds, and the production is just, it's off the chain, but you really want to be like, you really want to, what's the word I'm looking for? You want that experience to be like, man, you had to be there. You know what I'm saying? You want that type of experience where, like, bro, Raw Nats was fire, Quip Nats was fire, the Arnold was great, the video wall was crazy. Like, you guys, you had to be there, man. It's one of those had to be there moments, and I think they're getting to a point where, again, with a lot of the production and things of that nature, where it is one of those, it's getting to that point where it is kind of you had to be there type moment. And they're kind of drawing us in. I'm actually gonna throw the 6-pack. As far as being able to watch and everything, what's what really, I can't really say what goes through your head, because I guess that's kind of a dumb question, but I mean, for you, I mean, obviously, you've been in the game for a while, you've seen all types of production, you're part of the biggest lifting production that is the IPF Worlds and everything that goes on every year. What was your opinion of just the production and the video quality, and obviously of the commentators?
Yeah, some sections didn't have a commentator, but it wasn't the worst thing. Like, I think Darrington was saying how there was 2 going on at once. So sometimes you could put on, like, I didn't want to miss, like, some of it was like, shit, I don't want to miss either one of them. So I'd have 2 windows, and then I would have, so they'd have one announcer saying both, which actually worked out so that I'll mute one window, and my man was hitting the both of them, saying like, all right, platform here, and then platform there. So I was like, okay, this kind of works actually. Whereas if we had, although like, if we're talking, make it as close to ESPN as possible, you would have like one going at once, commentator, lead, your color commentator, which will be your athlete, the lead, which is a broadcast guy, and then you're punching out stats and blah, 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 and instant replays and discussion, whatever. But if you like, it's that's easier said than done. And like, so logistically, this was very difficult, and I understand this. So actually, logistically, 2 windows, muting one, and no commentator, because the commentator would really have a hard time flipping between 2, try to get it all right. Like, you're going to miss people, and people are going to get upset. Where an announcer doesn't have a commentator's job. There's a big difference between what Gino does or what like I would do. So announcer just has to say name, weight, flip to the other, name, weight, and I did my job, right? Like that's oversimplifying. Gino does an amazing job more than that, but you know what I'm saying. So if you just mute one of them, leave the audio on the other, it worked out. It actually worked out as a viewer because I got like when I was listening to one, and this was during my work hours too, right? So like my boss is gonna listen to this, I don't think. But I would hear him say like, Angelo about to go first. Boom, I'm gonna look over. And I'm like, okay, I got you. And then I'll look down, okay, and on the other platform. So it worked out for what it was, right? It's never gonna be perfect. I'm not sure what it was live. But yeah, it was decent production. I'm gonna echo what everybody else has already said about the background with the TVs and whatnot. Like first little bit cool, maybe an intro when everyone's coming out or whatever the shit, and then maybe that curbs and it turns into a stats thing where it shows a picture of the person's face, some stats. Good, then I know a little bit of background somebody, and now I'm maybe a little even more emotionally invested on somebody I wasn't previously and whatever. But yeah, the moving graphics was a stitch. After like 3 hours deep in the session, you're like, I got you. I'm hyped up for Taylor's third dead, regardless of if the fucking USAPL logo's swimming at me. You know what I'm saying? You got me. I'm here. But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they've been working at raising the game, man. And a thing that I have noticed is. I think in the past, in Angelo, Ian, you guys can agree or disagree with this. I feel like as time has progressed, they've started to listen to us a little bit more, in terms of things that we like, in terms of production. And honestly, I've also noticed that a lot of lifters have started getting more involved, not just with commentary, but just just in the the behind the scenes, just really not necessarily telling hey, you should do it this way, you should do it this way, but really just kind of giving like honest feedback in terms of the things that we enjoy, the things that we like, the things that that really kind of get us hyped, that and again also listen to kind of what people that are watching on the other end, like what they like to see. I think that's been a big difference in terms of how the quality has kind of been raised as I think the quality's been raised as the years have gone by, because I mean, again, Greg is another, he can attest to this. There was a point in time where our first, I think that first Raw Nationals that we had, that they actually had, like 2013, was like, it was in a church in Killeen. And bro, oh, you remember that, X? Yeah, bro, it was like this little church in Killeen.
That's the last time I competed at Nationals.
Yeah, man. So like, I feel like it's one of those things where, when you look back on where it was and where we're at, I mean, we've made leaps and bounds in terms of the progress. So I'm hoping that it just keeps kind of progressing, man. God knows where we'll be, a few years from now. Something I do want to talk about, because when we have people that are just kind of rolling in, and yeah, Spicy Cajun Fries, like you said, this recap crew you have is insane. Absolutely, we got some killers out here. So when Greg gets to a point where he actually can talk, we'll let him introduce himself and maybe give his overall impression. But until that happens, we'll kind of go through our GBU, our good, bad, and ugly of Nats, and kind of some of the things that again, as you've experienced it from whatever your particular perspective is, man. And let me see, Isla, man. I'm trying to think because I don't want to.
Start off not too spicy.
Listen, bro. You know what? It's really not gonna matter because everybody here's. You know what? Oh my God.
I'm like to a mild.
Huh? Reggie.
Give him to a mild. He ain't gonna give him some spicy.
Reggie's probably the nicest out of all of us. He's the least petty of all of us. We'll let Reggie start it off. All right, so Reggie, I need one good, meaning, what's one like really awesome thing that I guess your favorite moment, one or two of your favorite moments from Nats. There's a million of them, so I mean, there's a plethora we can pick from. Your bad, I guess for you, maybe your worst experience at Nats, or one of the worst parts that you noticed about Nats, and ugly. That ugly is like one of the most shameful moments, something you're like, man, we could have definitely done without that. Whatever. Quit smiling, fool, because I know you.
Okay.
And again, the biggest thing I will say, X, we're not gonna beat a dead horse.
What's this horse?
Boy,
Hey,
listen,
man.
I'm telling hey,
Oh,
sit back.
kick that
It's a
horse
sticky
fire.
horse. It's a sticky
If you knew
horse.
how
Oh no! Here
if
we
you knew how
go!
petty this
Here
dude
we
is.
go!
Hey, X is so petty, bro, and he don't, man. Oh my gosh, I feel bad. We got to get this done before Ty gets on. That's the key.
Woo!
Oh no,
That's the
no, no! We
petty-
can't have
that petty
tie talk. No, 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 no.
So
Oh, no,
Reggie,
I'll
my
mute, man.
man, Reggie,
Don't
my
put them
guy, Reggie, give me your good, bad, and ugly. Give me your good.
The biggest good I liked was the timing of it all. Like I like that it's like not like an extreme amount of lifters to watch. So I do like the roster size. I hope it doesn't get too much bigger next year, but we'll see what happens. The bad for me was like the strobe light thing. Like I feel like that was just too much at times. Like it was just going too crazy. And the ugly, I'm gonna give my ugly pass to X. So he has 2 ugly passes. So
You
he
are
can
the
take-
worst.
Are we doing that?
You are the
That sounds
worst.
good.
No, I didn't even know
You
that,
can't
bro.
pass it like cards.
Oh my,
My bad, I didn't know.
gosh. We're not.
Yeah, I didn't know that's how it works. I'll pass it to Darrington because Darrington ain't saying nothing looking like Dr. Evil with his background, so I'll pass it to him.
Dog, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I know
I'm being honest. I'm telling you straight up, man to man. My heart just dropped me. Like I'm gonna give mine to X. I'm like, man,
I thought you were trying to say I did something bad, man. I ain't do nothing bad.
but you the
I'm not
worst.
gonna say no. I'm not going next. Darrington, go.
D, give us your good, bad, and ugly, man.
I mean, not being there, I don't have too much bad. I think the good was obviously seeing Ian do what he did.
Facts.
Facts. I think we all have, or everyone that's in our chat at least have, we have the same bad, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably leave that to you to discuss because, yeah,
Whatever.
that's all.
Boy, y'all boys, man.
It's X's again.
You see how they do me? You see how they do me, Ryan?
Well, because I can't say anything because people think we have beef, but I'll just leave it
Oh,
there.
shit.
I understand.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Man, Greg, hurry up and get to a spot where you can talk, old man. Ah, at least you need to drive faster. All right. I'm trying to avoid X, bro. There's no getting around it.
Hit him last because apparently he's gonna have an area of grievances.
Surprise, man. I'm not even gonna go crazy, man. I'm just gonna keep it.
X got a business to think about. That's smart. Okay. We'll go with, you know what? Let's go with Angelo. We haven't heard from Angelo. We haven't heard from the 750 kilo over here.
All right, man. So the good, I want to say the competition was incredible.
Absolutely.
Specifically, the 93s. The 93s was stacked from 1 to 10, and it was a fucking pleasure watching them compete.
Facts.
It was beautiful from 1 to 10.
Facts.
You got Keiko. You had Gavin Adine come from nowhere to get seconds. You had a great battle from 3 to 5. It was fantastic. It was not as hyped as the 83s and 74s, but it should have been because that's how good it was. Every
Absolutely.
lifter there was fantastic. I love watching 1 to 10. And I mean, in a broad stroke, it was a competition. That's what I live for. I live for spectating it. I live for competing within it. That is my favorite thing about it. The bad, I mean, really, it's nothing that the USAPL could have done because they're playing the cards they got dealt to them.
Facts.
But the 2 platform thing kind of kills me because as a spectator, I only got to really spectate the 105s and 93s go, and whatever that session that was a super heavyweights 120 included in that. So seriously, like I'm watching the 105s up close because Ashton Rauska and Jesus Oliveras are my good friends. Like
Yeah.
I want to watch them up front, close and personal.
What a dick,
On the
bro.
other
I guess
platform.
we're all chopped liver, huh? Get this guy out of here. I
Hey
shouldn't
man,
have
hey,
kicked him out. Whatever, dog.
have a beer with me, and then maybe we can have that little thing.
That's what it's all good.
Jesus Oliveras and Ashton Rauska got a beer with me. Come on.
First of all, I don't even drink. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, have a lemonade with me.
Okay.
Whatever you drink.
Six pack, you see how they do me, dog? You see this?
I don't
Yeah.
think it was. In his defense, I don't think it was a comprehensive list he was giving you, but it was.
Well, yeah.
Hey,
Well, like those are my
I'm just
those
keep
are
going,
my
bro.
boys,
I'm just
the
messing with you.
105s. So I'm watching them,
Uh-huh.
and then on the other platform while they're going, I got the 93s going, and I like keeping my head on a swivel. I wouldn't miss lifts. I would
Right.
miss lifts because I'm trying to watch the 105s go, and there was an incredible battle with 105s too. You got Bryce and Ash. So that was again, I can't fault the USAPL for this because that was what they had to do in order to have a good meet.
Absolutely.
Man, the ugly. This might piss off a lot of people, but putting the 83s and 74s at 8 o'clock in the morning. Personally, of course, I don't want to compete at 8 a.m., but if you look at the live stream views, if you look at the lifters who are competing, this is just from a production standpoint, a rating standpoint. If I'm going to put my ESPN hat on right now, you have the best lifters or the most popular lifters, the most marketable lifters in those sessions, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, and you're just watching Russ squat.
Talk it.
You know what I mean? Like, even if you look at the live stream views, they still got over 50,000 live stream views, and they were on at 8 in the morning Eastern time. Compare that to the rest of them, it dwarfs it. Granted, the 93s and 105s had a little issues with with the live stream. I think it was blocked off for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what Keiko was telling me.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess just from understanding, like, okay, you got Russ, you got Atwood, you got a bunch of other people who are great lifters in there. You know the ratings are going to be super high at that time.
Oh, yeah, for
Let's
sure.
put them on at noon. Maybe let's put them on at 6 o'clock where people can view them. And those live stream views for the USAPL would be up, I guarantee you, 100,000 live stream views for a 3-hour event. More people watch. More people get involved with the sport. More people get involved in the USAPL. It's a business thing. You got to make sure you know your demographic. So that's for me. Again, it was a weird nationals. They usually do prime time.
It really was.
But like that's that for me. Me and Atwood even talked about it. Like, man, just we know what the live stream views are going to be, even with it being 8 a.m. And I think it doubled the highest live stream, the second highest live stream views. So that's where my head was at. But I mean, it's a pretty good ugly to have because that's something.
That's a damn good ugly have. I mean, considering all the other stuff that that they had to deal with, man, just kind of going into that and really putting on 4.5 nationals at one time. I can't even be mad at it. If like I said, and I agree. If ratings, or I should say live streams, is the worst of our problems, I think we're doing all right. That's about as first world as you can get with a powerlifting meet. I will say, I would have really, have liked to see, again, this is just me being the way that I am. It would have been cool to see almost a back and forth in terms of, okay, you have the 74s, the 74 raw, 74 equip going back and forth. So that would have been cool. I mean, because again, there was only really what Austin Perkins was really the only one that I know of that did both. But it would have been really cool to see raw and I shake my head as well. It would have been cool to see raw and equip kind of going at the same time. Both disciplines at the same time, the same weight classes, and to kind of see like that, I think would have been super dope. It would have been really cool to see, Ian pulling God knows how much, Ashton pulling God knows how much, like just again.
Or I started to interrupt, or just have the 74s and 83s go at once. Like we all lift relatively the same weight. I mean, god damn, Atwood would have got second at 83.
He's an outlier. You take Atwood out of the picture.
Well, we all lift. I mean, I was warming up with Pug and Perk the entire day. That's because we're not totally different on weight. So you have 74s and 83s go at once. You see that platform going. It's just easy. It was weird how they did it with it was like 59 and 74s and 66 and 83s. Like, come on. Put 74s and 83s. It's better for the viewing experience.
Right.
It's better for the competition experience as well. And then you don't get that weird thing where we're going at the same time because we are close in strength. It's not like a huge disparity between us.
Literally, you guys are sandwiches apart. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, I think maybe some of it was a numbers thing. I would like to think at least some of it was a numbers thing. I don't really know all the ins and outs that they go into it. Oh, Leffler Bros just entered the chat. What's up, boy? But yeah, I really feel like that's you know, if we ever to have something like this again, I mean, I'm sure a lot of this was taken into account. I mean, man, it was high key was it was a very, very, very good Nats. I'm not gonna front. I really enjoyed it. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, man, only thing that I would have liked to have seen was everybody kind of going at the same times in terms of weight classes. But I mean, the odds of that happening are slim to none. But I mean, anything can be done. Anything's possible. That's what, you know.
Oh,
Kevin
and
Garnett
also
said.
can I throw in for the ugly my bench press?
Oh, that's what we're doing?
If anyone had to watch my bench press in the 83s, I'm sorry. I apologize for you guys watching that.
Listen,
Watching all these great lifts and watching a fucking Italian fail with 165 kilos.
no, you know what? Just all it was is that, you know, you're benching your squat. I mean, I should say your squat and your dead. They were totally, you know, they were totally 83, and your bench decided it wanted to chill with the, you know, 59s. You're
66s. Not even
Oh, you
74.
on 66?
74 kicking my ass.
That's what's up. I ain't even mad at you. All right, so we'll go with Darrington. D, what was your good, bad, and ugly of this Super Nationals, my friend?
I already did this.
Yeah, and?
I went second.
Oh, you did?
Stop giving X.
You want
I'm trying to avoid X, dog. I really.
What happened now?
No, hold on.
I might have a little
We're gonna
rebuttal.
saturate it. We're gonna saturate this with some wisdom. We will go with Dr. Ian Bell, and maybe he will prove as a good example to follow in terms of thinking before we speak. Because X is about we all like X is a ticking time bomb, bro. And we're paying this dude to be like to be the evil scientist. X ain't even that bad. He's not even that bad. But we just, I guess, X in terms of pettiness, there's Ty and then there's X. They're like it's a very thin line in between. And since Ty's not here, yes, you're the mad scientist. But we're gonna go Ian Bell. We are going to go with Dr. Ian Bell. What was your good, bad, and ugly from Super Nationals, my friend?
The good has to be just all the crazy performances. I mean, Taylor, Bonica going back to back, lifting raw on Friday and then lifting equipped on Saturday. I don't know how she did that. Winning both, setting American records in both. Mm-hmm. That's insane. Taylor LaChapelle moving up a weight class and then just taking all the records in that weight class. Jasmine Penn winning the 76s raw. I mean, there's a lot of crazy performances. Being able to see that, can't forget about my boy Ashton. You know, just yelling at him, squatting 804, pulling crazy weight. I was so scared he was going to outpull me raw when I was going to lift on Saturday. I was like, I can't let that happen. So yeah, that was definitely the good. I mean, there was so much crazy lifting, so much concentrated talent in one room at all times. That was nuts to see. The bad, I had a hard time coming up with the bad. I think I'll speak just for me personally. It was hard to kind of coordinate my help for this meet, and with equip lifting, you need help, and all of us kind of help coach each other. So it was a different experience, all lifting at the same time. Where I have two of my training partners who I will usually be helping on the last day. Yeah. I can't even help them because I'm lifting. We're lifting on different platforms at the same time. So trying to find people and fly them out to nationals and have them in the warm-up room, teaching people how to rap, teaching people how to handle. That was difficult. It's not really a true bad, but that was harder than what most nationals would be.
Facts.
The ugly, I would say, it's just kind of like the background of nationals and what the U.S. in the squabble between the USAPL and IPF.
Yeah, man.
And just kind of like the uncertainty of what this means going forward. I thought we would learn something after the NGB. We didn't learn anything. It was just kind of put off for another 2 weeks and then 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So the uncertainty and not knowing if there is going to be a Worlds, if there is going to be an APF. Yeah. What this means for the Arnold, what this means for all these international competitions. Yeah. It's just been real messy.
Yeah, man. Good point.
Sticky situation.
That limbo. It's don't get me wrong. It's fun lifting at Nash, and I think Ian, you and I, we've had this conversation a couple times. I want to say over the last 3 or 4 months, man, just with how everything's, you know, playing out, and really just, you know, the blessing of being, you know, at least, you know, on a world-class level in terms of lifting and totals and things is, you know, there's always that possibility, be it slight or great, of being able to, you know, go to a world championship, to be able to, you know, to qualify for IPF World Championship and NAPF Championship. In that limbo of not knowing whether or not you're going to have an opportunity to do that, be it open, be it masters, equip, raw, you know, bench, whatever. And just trying to figure out, like, all right, well, if I am able to do what I know I'm capable of doing on the platform, and I'm able to qualify for this, will I be able to go in the first place? Will there be some type of solution found? Will there be some type of, answer, that we can go by that time? I mean, if it's a no, then awesome. Let's find a different route. Nationals is awesome, but I think, any competitor is going to tell you, you want to win that national championship, and after you win that national championship, you want to try to compete for a world championship. It just is what it is. I don't think any competitor that's alive right now will tell you, like, all right, cool, I won and I'm going to stop there. Not many people have that Barry Sanders gene, where, like, all right, cool, I've done what I need to do, I'm out. You want to push it to the highest point, want to take it to the highest level. And for us, especially in the Raw side, that IPF World Championship is the highest level that you can go. We aren't as fortunate as those, as far as equipped, with, being able to go to the World Games. For a lot of us, this is it in terms of taking it to that highest level. And I think Six Pack, we actually have had a conversation about that before in the past as well. So being an ultimate competitor and really want to compete, you want to take it to that highest point. I mean, obviously you want to go against, your own countrymen and everything, but at the end of the day, man, if you have an opportunity to go against, the best of the best, man, you want to see where you stack up in terms of being the best of the best. So yeah, I do agree, Ian. I think that is kind of an ugly part, just not necessarily knowing. And eventually, the USAPL has been absolutely amazing in terms of their transparency, in terms of how things are going, man. So shout out, to everybody in the national office for doing that, because honestly, it's been good, at least kind of knowing where we stand. You know what I'm saying? But yet it's still one of those things where we're still kind of in limbo. That being said, we're in limbo in terms of good, bad, and ugly from X. My man.
Do you want me to jump ahead of him?
Oh, thank Jesus! Okay, so we have Greg. First of all, Greg, you're gonna have to do a series of things for those of people that live under a rock and don't know who you are, my friend. Give them a rundown of who you are.
A rundown. What do I tell people? I'm Greg Johnson. Been powerlifting for quite a while. I do equipped and raw lifting. Used to be 105, now 93. I'm halfway broken like everybody else here. I lift, I judge, national judge, volunteers. I do a little bit of everything, I guess. There you go.
Yeah, Greg is definitely one of those. You're one of the staples for those that don't that know much about Greg. If you're in Texas, then you honestly lifting on a national level, really. You've seen him around. Greg is one of the staples in terms of just stability in the USAPL, especially in the sector of Texas. He's a mainstay. Pretty much one of the most elite lifters you're gonna come around. Definitely one of the most elite deadlifters in the game. Doesn't matter raw or equipped, regardless of him being broken or not. He's still one of the most dangerous men on the platform. If you give him a chance to pull for a win, there's a 75 to 85% chance, broken or not, he might end up pulling that bad boy. You're not getting 100 from me. You know I'm petty. You know I hate on Greg.
He's 100% on the platform. That's weird.
A thing about Greg, man, that a lot of people don't know is Greg, myself, and Ian, we all were 90 kilograms at one point at the very beginning. And I think, Greg, were you the first one to split off and go up?
Yeah, that was 2012.
Yeah, Greg was the first one. Like we were all like 90 for like I think 2 months, and then Greg's like, "Peace, I'm out." And then Ian's like, "No, you're not going anywhere. Let me find you." So Ian chased him. I was like, "No, I'm gonna keep not eating, and I'm gonna stay down to avoid these young cats as much as possible." But Greg, Greg's been on, one of the few people. Ian, of course, being another that's been on national teams for both Raw and Equipped. He's quite humble in terms of his jacket that he has, but he's a champion and he's legit with it. But as far as you go, my friend, you're good, bad, and ugly. What would you say your good, bad, and ugly would be for nationals since you competed? You were a competitor.
Good thing that I saw was that, regardless of the situation, the good thing I saw was there were plenty of judges, officials to go around. So I know it's not something that's often focused in on, and it rarely ever comes up in the lifters' minds. But having consistent judging, having people who are willing to take their time to be the jury, even people who may have lifted throughout the week, volunteered at least some time during the week to make this nationals even happen. And especially in a situation like this where it's up and down, it's a bunch of things thrown together, it's a hectic day schedule, seeing people volunteering their time while even after they lift, staying around, judging, doing the computers, running, spotting, loading. That's always a good for me because I love to see people, giving back, not only enjoying the sport for what it is, but also recognizing the people that make it happen behind the scenes. The bad, unfortunately, of course, given the situation, I would have preferred, a little more spread out in the schedule, but given with what we had to work with, it was all right. Of course, like having everybody, once again, not being able to see the people that you want to lift, that you want to see lift, people you've been following their training, you've been invested in their success, really focusing in on an opportunity to get a chance to see them lift at their absolute peak. Not getting a chance to see that because of the way that the schedule shook out, it's a little unfortunate. And it's a fact of life, and we're okay with it now, but it's unfortunate when you don't get to see the people that you really care about, people you've been interested in lifting. So that was kind of the bad, but you live and you learn. And then the ugly, my shoulder, basically. My shoulder, Andrew was talking about his benching. I had to open up Raw in an Equipped competition because my shoulder exploded. So I was probably the ugliest lifter out there. I thought, bomb squad is about to happen. But in all seriousness, there were, ugly. I think probably the only thing I didn't like was the flashing lights for the national, for the records. That gave me a headache. That was something that was really like, I can't do flashing lights. I can't. I'm already kind of sensitive and get sick really easily. So that was unfortunately something that just kept popping up during the week. I wanted to say something, but I probably shouldn't. So that's pretty much what I got.
Not bad. All right. Those pretty good. It's inevitable. X is next. We've done everything we could. Ian's got the stogie now, so it's about to get good. Listen. Listen, we're not saying you about to start ripping people. Wait, are you double? I thought you were double cupped. I was like, it's about to go down.
Now you're in trouble. No, I'm playing.
X, my man, again, for those that are just tuning in, X had the pleasure of being a handler, a coach, and being in the audience as a spectator. So he wore the most hats in terms of people that were in attendance at nationals. So my man, give me your good, bad, and ugly from this.
As far as good, like I said, I haven't been to a Nat since like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
To see the change in how it's organized. Granted, this is a different situation. Everything was different, but I was shocked at how the production of everything. I was like, well, damn, this is different. This is good or whatnot. Then what? They got cash prizes? What the hell? This is one of my biggest gripes that we talk about all the time. too much money coming off these lifters' backs to where there shouldn't be. There's nothing coming back to them. These great people, like, it's insane to me. But seeing the growth in production or whatnot was really good to me. And then being able to see all of my close friends, lift and have an opportunity to handle Greg and be there with Ian and see these people crush it. That was good for me. I have no complaints about my experience at the meets. It was all good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not all, but most of it.
Yeah.
Bad. I would say with bad, I was not too cool with, this is my spectator hat though. Yeah, I came down and I handled them. I didn't enjoy Daytona as a place. Daytona wasn't for me,
Thanks.
So I would say that is the only bad I have. Besides the lights, y'all hitting on the lights and everything. I'm not gonna repeat that. I'm trying to find something different or whatnot. We all know it's kind of annoying or whatnot. That's the bad I have. Ugly. I think that some things went on in there that should have been spoken of, and I don't like the fact that they weren't. Ain't nobody gonna speak on it. I am. Motherfuckers is cheating, and it was go ahead and slid on past like it was okay. I don't know. I ain't been in nationals since 2015. I ain't been in the in crowd, but I know enough, and especially knowing Greg, LS, Ian, all y'all high profile lifters.
Get out of here.
Hey man, that's y'all. That ain't me. I'm low class. I don't understand how that just goes. As far as integrity goes in this sport, I'm high on that. I don't want to see no forms of cheating, not even something frowned upon, nothing. You got people that bust their ass every week getting ready for this event. That's been starving for a competition of this magnitude. And I don't think anything like that should be able to spoil the moment. And for any lifter back there, of course, nobody on the outside is going to see that.
Right.
Y'all being who you guys are, and everybody here that lives and competes or whatnot, and loving this sport and this organization, I just feel like the tolerance is zero for me. So for me to see that be glossed over like that, that's my ugly. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. We probably, circle back a little later.
You might be able to.
I'm not gonna
circle back to it now. What are we talking about here?
I'm not gonna go crazy, but I'm just gonna. I mean, if we gonna get specific, I'll get specific. Can I segue?
Cheating. It's like
we can segue. LS.
Let's leave it. We'll come back to it in a minute. Because we do have some questions from people.
I didn't go yet, LS.
Yeah, I'm about to say
I didn't go yet, man.
Out right here. God
damn. Guys. Ooh,
did me like that.
Laughing that comes through like Superman. Thank you, my guy. You're good and bad and ugly. I'm really interested in hearing like what you have to say about this, because you always have such an eagle eye in terms of just details that a lot of people just don't necessarily pay attention to. Again, I think I'll put you right there with X in terms of the hats that you wear. You wear so many different hats. You are a world-class competitor. You have been to some of the biggest meets in the world. You've also done commentary for some of the biggest meets in the world. We've actually done commentary together in some of the greatest moments in powerlifting history. So you have a very extensive background in the sport and a very eagle-ish eye when it comes to things that a lot of people don't see. So there might be some things which I'm excited. I'm just setting you. Hopefully, I'm not setting you up for failure here. But I feel like there's things that you tend to see that a lot of people don't necessarily see, because you have had such a unique perspective in terms of your experiences at these big meets. So again, you're good, bad, and ugly, my friend. The floor is yours.
Okay, my man. So for the good, I got Jasmine Penn having her super meet, going 9 for 9.
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows Jasmine's story. Bombed out at Worlds, left the platform crying. Last Nationals, tough call on the deads. Those things can go either way. When they go away, tough for her because she ended up coming in second, but losing Nats, losing the ability to go to Worlds, left the platform crying. This time came back 9 for 9, super meet, won the Nationals. So really happy for her. Heather Connor in the 47 kilo class, totaling 408, unofficially breaking a world record that stood since 2015, which for powerlifting is forever ago. For a record to last that long. And taking it from a lady who was an Olympic gold medalist in Olympic weightlifting, a world champion in and out of equipment, world games champion. I mean, legendary stuff going down right there. Brittany Suplicki versus Megan Scanlon versus Ali Weinberg in the 57s. Holy smokes, man. You had people missing lifts, come up in the weight anyways, coming back, hitting the lifts. Like it was up, down. What do you want? Do you want like close battle, back and forth momentum, and someone sneaking in close enough to make it like, oh my God, someone could come up from third? It was there. Taylor Atwood, enough said. I think we covered it. Delaney Wallace emerging in the 83s. There was hype coming about him, but he hadn't had that big competition yet. And that was the case with a 2-year absence of big competitions. You got a lot of people coming up and haven't hit the big platform yet to go against, some of the other big top-end competitors. Delaney showed, and he had a monster total and came in silver. Jonathan Keiko's heartfelt win. Angelo hit that up in the 93s. Beautiful. For some of the bads, I'm going to talk about injuries that not only hurt the lifters for their day, but viewers, competitors, etc. Obviously, Sean's injury was bad, like for Sean, impact directly. But then, obviously, the 83s lost Sean. He's a big loss. Dennis got hurt. So he ended up finishing the day, but it could impact his future. So that's tough for Dennis. Inda got hurt as well. Couldn't finish the day. And these are big names that, you tune, not only just for the lifter themselves, very difficult to deal with when you put that much into it, but then for the viewers of sport and the competitors who wanted to see it through with them. Ray catching COVID, pulling out, Mello not making it too. So we had some losses. We took some L's, and it was tough, man. That was tough. Their absence was tough for us, but everybody showed up who did. For the ugly, I kind of got sneaky here, didn't want to get negative, so I chose the ugly. It was ugly to watch. So our man Ryan Stills, LS, me and you both did a podcast with him.
Yeah.
It's tough to watch an injury, man. And he took a hard one on that squat, and you could literally see it happen live. Yep. And that's tough. And it was ugly. That was you literally saw his leg shift and then they had to catch him.
Shift in,
Difficult to watch that happen to somebody, right? But here's what I like. My man turned it around, and I thought that's fucking it for him. That's got to be a wrap. You watched it happen, man. And comes back on one leg. He squats 192.5. He's benched 192.5, benching into the 400s, deadlifted 320, deadlifting in the 700s, stiff leg, balanced mostly, put most of the load on his good leg.
Leg deadlift is what he did.
Dog, he's stronger than 95% of people on one bad leg. So it was ugly to see it in the squats, but showed the heart of a lion coming back.
Absolutely.
So all right, there's my good, bad, and the ugly.
I'm literally with you on all of those. I'm actually gonna take I'm gonna take a little bit in terms my goods. Honestly, watching being able to firsthand see that 105 battle, man, that was dope. That was dope to watch. Obviously Taylor doing this thing, that was dope. Really watching it. It's almost like a trash versus treasure type situation in that while we had a lot of people not necessarily to show up or not able to compete, whatever, you had, the emergence of new champions. You had people that, while there was a void, say some of these high profile lifters not being there or not being able to finish, there was still enough talent, there's still enough drive, there's still enough want to win that, while it hurts to not see those people there. We still had people that were really out there busting ass and still raising the bar. Probably the coolest thing was seeing Meg Scanlon come back after having twins. Bro, she was diced. If you were able to see Meg in the back, dude, she was absolutely diced. And to see somebody that went from having, twin babies, not too long ago to coming back just being shredded, I'm like, must be nice. I'm over here, I can't even avoid eating a sandwich. And I think, I guess for me, the best part for me was really having an opportunity to watch these equipped guys go in. I've seen Raw guys as long as Raw's been around, pretty much as far as since 2013 or whatever. So being able to watch these guys in the back warm up, being able to actually listen to Joe Cap, talk trash and crack jokes, being able to watch Ian just focus up and really hone in, and just really watching the skill in terms of just watching these equipped guys just do their thing. And I mean, and I'll say it, dude, my favorite part of the whole meet was really just, at that very end when Ian's getting ready to pull this record. For a split second there, for a moment, it was cool. I was able to see, all my boys were all like rallied around watching our homeboy about to pull, what I'm saying, this astronomical amount of weight, and just that feeling like, man, we may never get this opportunity to do this again. In terms of this time, this place, this feeling, man. And I was caught in the moment, man. I was like a little choked up, you know what I mean? Being able to watch everybody, cheer each other on. Being able to watch Greg squat, because again, being able to see my friends do their thing, you know what I mean? Knowing that I was literally about to have to fly out. That was like, for me, that was like probably the most beautiful moment. Just being able to see that, and I think for me, I guess the most ugly part, man, was that while we're able to talk about it now, you know what I mean? Like, we still had enough shadow of enough BS in the back that it kind of almost overshadowed, some of the great things that went on. I mean, Angelo pulling that 750, that was bonkers, man. And really to see him come into his own, I think that was another good one. He had a lot of momentum coming in, so to be able to see somebody have as much momentum as Angelo had coming in, to see him able to translate that momentum to actual placement, actually do his thing regardless of how trash he feels his bench was. He stacked enough chips that he was able to do his thing, and he was able to pull 750 very convincingly, mind you. So congrats to you for that, my man. It was a beautiful thing watching. Honestly, the deadlifts were my favorite part of the whole thing, was really watching the deadlifts and really watching just everybody just really sell out. At the end of the day, man, if you can't pull, you're probably not going to be able to win. So I think that was the best part about it. We have a few questions from some people.
Hold on. So look.
Hold on.
No, I ain't gonna get into that.
We're gonna circle back, but remember,
I ain't gonna get into that.
You got to start his hand too now.
I ain't gonna do it.
Listen, we're sticking with the script. You guys already got the script. You know what it was. We'll come back in a minute. But we have people watching that ask questions. Don't be that dude. You better than that.
I'm just saying, all I'm gonna say is
nah. First of all, why
feel?
Okay, go ahead.
This the good, man. Look, I'm saying the only reason why I was so upset with my ugly overnight is because of how happy I was of how good the meat was. I was
absolutely.
Like,
I'm with you on that.
Good. This is dope. I get to see my people live. I'm having a really good time. And then that just kind of just soured it. That's why it felt different,
But I'm gonna ask you this, man to man. Are you surprised?
Am I surprised that it happened, or am I surprised of how it was handled?
I'm gonna go with a little bit of both.
I am not surprised.
Okay.
But that makes me even more pissed. I'm sorry.
Okay. I feel like Ian's got some of these. I see him kind of leaning in.
Well, I think we should just talk about it now, since it's on the tip of everybody's tongue. We should just get into it right now.
I really want to hit these questions though, and then be able to circle back. That's all I'm saying. We only got like a couple.
All right, man, go ahead.
I mean, because these are addressed to y'all. Solana Lips asked, was it tough for you guys to get hyped with a smaller audience?
Nah, audience doesn't matter, man. The hype is internal. You know what I mean? The hype is internal and your people behind you.
bro.
You got an audience, like that's cool or whatever, but I don't know about y'all, but I see like maybe one or two faces, if any faces when I'm lifting. So
I can backdoor that. Ian is the most locked in person I've ever seen in my life when he gets ready to go. Because Ian don't need nobody but the person behind him. I was standing there, I talk my shit, and it's tunnel vision. I said, my God damn. I was like, all right, let's go.
Am I even here? Do I exist?
Hey, man, I don't give a damn. He came back, and it was on to the next.
Shit. But man, listen. Okay. I'll ask, Angelo, was it, like, was it hard for you to lock in? You know, especially for that final deadlift, was that difficult for you, or I mean, it really didn't matter if the crowd was there or not?
Absolutely not, man. When I'm competing with Russ Orhii, Sean Noriega, John Gruden, Delaney Wallace, all these guys who I've wanted to be just in the same conversation with for so long when I was in the sports, and placing 12th at Raw Nationals 2019, you know, and kind of jumping in there and placing third. I could have been in front of two people.
Absolutely.
Could have been in front of the judges. I mean, it was the easiest thing that in all honesty, if a lift goes well for me, I don't see the crowd. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. During my deadlift especially, like, I was so locked in. I didn't want to see the monitor. I was so locked in, I didn't know Russ missed his third deadlift. I thought he hit it.
Absolutely.
Because he came to me with a smile. And then, like, you know, just like Joey Flex and Russ patting me on the back, like, all right, go blow this shit up. Go do it. I was like, that's all I need. That's all I really need. And to place third at Raw Nationals after, you know, not a great performance in 2019. And in all honesty, I didn't deserve a great performance in 2019. I came in 12th and I finished 12th. Like, that's exactly how it was marketed. In 2021, it was so easy to get motivated to just pull into third. I did it. All honesty, like, you know, I don't know how hyped I can get for third place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, third place. How much do you celebrate third place?
I think it's good, buddy. I think it's good.
I'm gonna be 100 with you.
It's good. You know, I had my beer, I had my cigar, but like, I didn't rent out the limousine or anything. I didn't get a party bus or anything.
There's always
third place still.
Yeah, there's always gonna. I mean, as a competitor, you're always gonna want more, for sure. I mean, you're always gonna want to. Yeah, you're always gonna want that top spot. But considering, you know what I'm saying, you were 12th and breaking into third like you did on some like He-Man shit, bro, you did something that was nasty. You know what I mean?
The only hype I needed, seriously, was just being with those guys in the warm-up room.
Absolutely. That's
that
being a competitor
like,
right
it was being a fan of the sport. It was such a pleasure being in there with those guys. Like, and seeing what they could do too. Like, it was incredible for me. That's my real first national experience, because 2019 I was in the regular session, but then you're in the warm-up room with all these top guys, and that's all the hype I needed. I actually thought the audience was, you know, if I'm going to say something, the audience was smaller than 2019 Raw Nationals. I still think the one in Lombard, maybe a little biased here because it's 10 minutes away from my house, but the one in Lombard was phenomenal as far as production value goes. The Jumbotron that they had, the amount of people that were there. Of course, the cash bar, alcohol makes everything a little bit more fun. But like, just still competing within that. Just at the 8 a.m. spot, there was a lot of fans there, and you know, I kind of just clouded out when I'm deadlifting or even doing all my lifts. Like, I don't. If a lift goes well, I don't see anything. I don't see anyone.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I you know, it doesn't matter if the crowd is there or not, man. I think I don't necessarily start locking in until like I touch the bar anyway. But I mean, that's how I train.
You're a showman, though.
Yeah.
You're a showman. Like, I mean, you entertain the crowd just by squatting 666.
Yeah,
it was just incredible. Like, me and my girlfriend were sitting there, just having the time of our lives, just watching you squat, man. Like, I'll
tell you this. I mean, straight up. You know, and it's cool having Six Pack here. Because he can attest to this. When you start creeping past 35, my guy, it's it's just, bro, it just feels good to be able to, one, not just to be able to compete, but to be able to compete at a high level. You know what I mean? Like aside from the bros, you know what I mean? Like these cats, they knew all the stuff that was going on with me and my body behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And and they'll tell you straight up, like, I'm never gonna be like, oh man, I was hurting over here, I was hurting over there. Like, you're never gonna hear how bad or how much pain I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, they will a little bit here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll get a random message in the middle of the day, like, hey man, y'all pray for me, your boy's got a squat 7 or whatever. You know what I mean? But the bros, they knew what I was going through before I even got to nationals. Six Pack can attest to the fact that, man, like there's sometimes, man, you get in a point in, you just age just does its thing and you're hurting. You don't know why, but you're just hurting. You want to do more, but you can't do more. And so you literally have to take what's there. There's some days you feel like you're 25. And there's some days you feel like you're 65. You know what I mean? But you take whatever you have at that particular point in time and you go. I ain't gonna lie, Angelo, I just have fun out there, dude. Like, I mean, I train that way. I mean, I crack jokes. I watch South Park in between sets. You know what I mean? Like, I just, cracking jokes. So while it might seem like, oh, like, this dude's just out, just, clowning and whatever, bro, that's literally how I've always lived it. If I can't have fun doing this, what's the point of doing it? It's really not that serious. Like, it's lifting weights. And as long as I lock in, when I touch that bar, I feel like I'm good to go. But again, everyone's different. I've always just, taken it light because at the end of the day, man, I just want to make sure that I have a blast doing it, man. I mean, and if you happen to come along on the ride with me, then cool. We had a good time. If not, it is what it is. I think the only time I ever came out of, I think Reggie yelled at me, or maybe X yelled at me at some point. I just kind of yelled back. But at that point, bro, I really thought like it might be a wrap for me. My back, I felt the pop in my back at the second attempt. Like, well, at this point, I guess we just, we just gonna ride. We're playing with house money. We got at least one attempt in. But it's just always fun, man. And I think I just got caught in the moment of just, hey, man, this time last year, bro, we didn't even know if we were gonna be having anything. You know what I mean? And kind of throwing back to my talks with Ian, like, man, there's a possibility this might be the last big meet that we have for a while. So let me enjoy this moment. I might not be in my best physical condition, but mentally I'm where I need to be. So you know what? I'm gonna take what's there. Sometimes you just gotta the platform gives and the platform takes. You know what I mean? And I just took what it had for me that day, and that's pretty much it. I don't know, man. I think at the end of the day, we've all competed in some form or fashion, which is cool. I mean, speaking on X, because X is making his little comeback. Darrington's making his little comeback at the end of this month, so it's gonna be kind of cool seeing that. But we will, like I said, we will circle back. We are circling back now, fellas. So X, my man, my guy. I'm gonna let you set the stage, bro, and then we'll just speak on it. But the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, so we back at.
Shut up, dog. If you're gonna do it, you better do it. Otherwise.
All right, man. Like I said, man, we're gonna preface it by saying, look, man, integrity is big out here. I'm big on it. I love the sport. I'm pretty sure everybody here loves the sport. You didn't come to nationals, man, working your ass off just to see someone, ice skate on some rules, whatever it is. I don't give a damn about none of that ice skating now. You was cheating, period. So here's what we heard. So if y'all don't know or whatnot, I'll just go ahead and break it out there. Apparently there was some people back there using Stickum. Not apparently, they was. On they singlet and they shoes. Am I correct, LS? Go ahead and verify that.
Like a resin based.
You muted my boy.
Oh, that's on me.
Mute yourself.
I am speaking for LS because we have heard they stick them on their singlets and their shoes.
All right. So that
to my knowledge, is it a resin based sticky substance? Yeah.
Here's my thing, man. And just for y'all that don't know who we talking about Chance. What's his last name? I'm dropping names. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. Oh, well, now it is what it is. We what we gonna do? Throw a shadow over everybody in the back, or we gonna talk about who did it? That's what we here for, right? I'm not sugarcoating shit. I ain't got no brand to save. I ain't saving face on
Hey,
nothing.
hey, go in, man. Go in.
It's your floor. It's your floor.
All I'm saying is, man, the Chance Cat, which I don't know the man personally. I just heard certain things, but I don't, whatever, man. We ain't here to talk about him as a man or whatnot. We're here to talk about the fact that you cheated or you got caught. You and some other person, which I can't even remember the other person's name. To me, you break the rules as grounds for disqualification. You should have been disqualified on the spot when you got caught. Ain't no ifs, ands, or but. Ain't no yellow tape. There's nothing to discuss. Because if you're gonna sit there and make an excuse saying that, oh well, it's this base and it's cool. If that was the fact, every motherfucker back there would be using it. Because everybody gonna use whatever they can at their advantage when you lifting. If it's legal, we gonna use it. You think some people going in there saying, nah, man, I don't want to use chalk. I don't want that kind of help. Nah, man, I don't want no baby powder. I don't want that kind of help. But it's legal. Hell nah, you gonna use it because it helps. If everybody could use that shit and it wasn't frowned upon or cheating, they would use it. So don't give me that excuse of, oh no, it's this. You know, it's like, it's actually kind of legal. Fuck out of here, man. I feel like that kills some of the integrity of the sport, and I don't like it. And I'm just speaking on my behalf. Everybody else has their own opinion, and I respect that, respectfully. But fuck that cheating stuff, man. I ain't with that.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so if it's within the rule books of the IPF, with resin is allowed to be applied on the singlet, then how is it different from baby powder? How is it different from chalk?
Mm-hmm.
How is it different from any of those things? It's not cheating if it's in the rule book. Like, shit, I was watering my shoes on the platform because I knew the platform was a little bit slick on bench. Now, if I had resin, you bet your ass I would have used it because I know it's in the rule book, and I'm doing everything I can to help my bench. Right. So, I don't know, if it's in the rule book, I'm cool with it. And also, you know what? A USAPL official went back there and made the accusation themselves. They went to go talk to them, and they found nothing. The USAPL, say what you want, they come down on the lifters. If you don't believe me, ask Sean Noriega for not wearing a goddamn mask at one of his competition, or one of his thing kind of slipping a little bit below his nose and mouth. They came down on him, and they came down on him hard for that stuff. And that is Sean Noriega, a guy who has a lot of influence in the USAPL and has a big following. So for the two gentlemen you're mentioning, if they would have found something that's a little bit against the rules, and really it is within the rules, I think they would have came down on them just as hard. People told this to me. They wanted me to talk about it on Two White Lights.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to talk about it because it was purely speculative. And also, unless I hear something from the USAPL, I'm not going to bring light of an issue that I think is a non-issue. And that's what I think this is.
I can respect that. So my question is, why would you have to change your singlet though, if everything was cool? I found nothing.
People do that.
That's my only question. Well, they told them, hey, no, you have to change this now. You need to change this.
But if they looked at the IPF rule book, it's within the rules. You know what I mean? It says resin is allowed on the singlet. Which, by the way, where was it applied? That's what I want to know, because if you put resin on the front of your singlet, that makes my deadlift so much harder, because I don't want any sticky stuff anywhere close to my singlet. I want that to be slick.
So from what I heard, is bench
press on their ass or something, on their
singlet,
back?
I'm looking at the message that said singlet and feet.
So according to the rule book, like, yes, like you can use a resin on your back. And I'm with you, X. When I first heard about it, I was like, yeah, there's no way you can do that shit. It doesn't make any sense.
Myself.
And then went to the rule book, talked to my state chair. My state chair talked to the IPF technical secretary, and they were like, yeah, you can use this resin. You can use it on your back. Like, it's good to go.
Yep.
Your feet, I'm pretty sure I didn't hear about the feet thing, but that's in the rule book that you can't use it on your feet.
Use it on the feet.
Is that confirmed that it's on the feet though? That's what I want to know. Because if that was the case, then when he changed his shoes, when he changed something out, like That's one thing that I just want to know because
Well, this is what
speculative.
I'm literally looking at the messages right now, and this is like from firsthand accounts that people, because I was actually back there, but I was competing. So they watched them apply it to the feet, and to the back of the singlet, and the judge. I'm trying to rip through it real quick. Said, quote, no more stick 'em. And the kid was like, all right.
So, I mean, if the USAPL representative went back there and saw that somebody was applying some type of substance to the person's shoe, like, I think that's ground for disqualification. I don't think that should have been let go. The singlet doesn't matter, right? That's totally legal.
Doesn't matter.
But it's
when we
pretty
talk
clear
about feet,
that
then
in the rule.
that's working on unfair advantage. But this is my thing, and I will say this: we know how the USAPL is in terms of, you know, not necessarily passive judgment, but in terms of how they deal with the athletes. In a lot of times, if not all the times, it's never an immediate thing. So if this is something that they're working on, or something that they're reviewing, or something they've dismissed, then so be it. But I don't know that it would be something that just happens immediately anyway. Would you agree, Angelo? Like, it's not going to be something that just happens on the spot.
I would
because even with Sean, I know even with Sean, it was like an immediate thing. It was, you know, it was a while after, because like I think I was like, oh crap, what happened? And he literally had to tell me, like, oh, so this is what happened, this is what went on. So I mean, I think from a competitor's perspective, you know, I mean, you can go to the rule book and be like, all right, cool. Well, you know, it can be applied to the, you know, to the singlet. You're Gucci. But when we talking about feet, and then having people with like first-hand accounts of people that were there, people that heard, people that saw, then like, all right, cool. But at the end of the day, it's still kind of a he said, she said type thing. But again, when we start talking about feet, that's where I start having a problem. Because again, we all have the same platform. You know what I'm saying? It was slick for everybody. It is what it is.
It wasn't even that slick though. Like, I don't know. I think most of us have lifted like on a Lico carpet. That shit is slick as hell. And that wasn't a Lico carpet. Like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like if you know, I feel like at this point I have to say allegedly because I didn't see it. But if you were allegedly putting something on your feet, it's almost like you were cheating for almost no reason because it wasn't even that bad.
Right.
But like, that's what I want to know about the feet part. Like, none of that sounds confirmed. It sounds like it was confirmed. It was on the singlet.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. It sounds like people were just saying, like, well, it's on the feet too. It's like, okay, can you guys?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, from like looking at these messages, she watched him spray it on his feet, or them rather spray it on their feet. So I'm like, oh well.
Did the official not check the feet though? Because I think the official only checked
the singlet. I don't think they checked the feet.
So then the person didn't tell the official about the feet?
That's what I'm like. I'm trying to find out. Like, it did not, because from what I understand is, like, someone told the official about the singlet, and I guess this young lady watched him spray on the feet. I'm like, well, I guess no one told him anything about the feet.
So essentially, this was resin and water, and resin's allowed, and obviously water's allowed. So it was just a mix of resin and water, which you're allowed to do, but nothing's allowed to go on the foot. But the official didn't see anything on the foot. Official lets it go, but we have no official word on whether or not it hit the feet. Because like, if that lady, she's saying after the fact, I guess, right? She didn't say at the time and pull an official. She must not have. Right. She must have been after the fact. It's tough after the fact to say, I saw something. When the official goes back there twice, that's the time you got to be like, you know, when it passes 2 days later, it's very difficult to double back.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to go back.
Nah, you can't. As mad as as upset as I was about hearing about it, I'm not. It's he say she. Man, it's like the court of law, man. You like, really, it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah.
Or whatnot.
I think at the end of the day, man, I think just to hear about it, to even, you know, not even from like a cheating perspective or viewing it from a cheating perspective, I feel like, as a competitor, man, you would like to think like, hey, man, we're all just going at it. We're all, you know, trying to get it. I like how Ian, he's right. I mean, those those Alico platforms, bro, like they get super duper slick, straight up. There's no way this thing was slicker than an Alico platform. It just is what it is. Shout out to Alico, you guys are dope. But I mean, those platforms, they get pretty slick. Shut up, Ian.
They just gotta get regular carpet.
You know what I'm
That's what they
saying?
need to do.
Yeah.
If we pulled on some shag, don't get me wrong. We pulled on some shag, it's a wrap.
Like, it's so much better. I have one. It's like we have one at Surge.
Yeah.
Got it at Home Depot. Never gets slick.
The non-slip stuff. My thing, I always, and this is the thing, and again, this is kind of off topic, but kind of on topic. I'm like, bro, if somebody happens to spit or pee, God forbid, it's a wrap. I think that was the one thing that I've always, at any of the worlds that I've ever gone to, man, it's like, I've always been afraid, like, man, if we backdoor somebody that's peed or somebody that's thrown up, and I slip and I fall, I'm killing everybody in that place. My stomach's far too weak, man, and there's only so much. Shut up, dog. There's only so. Angela, don't be laughing at me, bro. It's the truth. Like, there's
no. It's funny that you have to apologize for it when we can all agree that piss is gross.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
but there's some people that just like it just. But there's some people that can power through
understand it's bodily movement, but it's.
But there's literally some people that can legit power through it like it's nothing. Me, on the other hand, I'm gonna be 100 with you. Of that full minute, I'm using 55 seconds. Like, hey man, y'all make sure that I dry that up. I don't care if it's a quick grip and rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, y'all gotta get that up and out of the way. Like, put chalk. I don't know. Put a towel on. I don't know. I mean, I've lifted in a couple meets, man, where like they peed on that place, man. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can go out there. Like, I might just take a pass. What, Ian? It just is what it is, dog.
Man,
like,
this shit's piss, man. It's on the ground. It ain't going nowhere.
It's gonna go on my feet.
What are you gonna do with your feet? You ain't doing nothing with your feet.
I'm trying to listen, man.
I've lifted up some people shit on the platform, man.
Bro, God forbid I spread the floor and I fall in some pee in front of my mama. It's a wrap, dog. No way.
Ain't no thing.
LS mentioned like the Jordan 3 exclusive. You know what I'm saying? You can't have pee on the Jordan 3 exclusive.
What you saying?
LS got like 6 shoes in the day. Like, one more freaking book today on the platform.
But I ain't finna get no pee on my Jordan 3s. You're
Where's Greg at, man? Where's Greg at?
Greg is like, I'm not in it. My name is Evan. I'm not in it.
I mean, he may have a little bit. I would like some more information, being a judge and everything. Maybe he knows a little bit more. His people.
Okay, so Allie,
look, I'm just gonna say this.
I got some more details about it. Allie's like, Allie said he didn't say anything about the feet. He took Robert over, pointed to the young man, and said he sprayed stickum on his back.
Okay, so the people that seen it on the feet didn't say nothing. They were just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
if they let it slide, then they let it.
To that point, that's my problem with this whole thing. When people were telling me about it, they couldn't get their story straight, and then once they got the story that was confirmed, that Robert Keller went over there and told them specifically about the singlet.
Oh no, I was Angela. I was literally like, well, I mean, I was literally like literally from me to you to my screen. I watched Robert say, "Hey, no more stickum." I watched him say that.
So, but then it still gets lost in translation there because
there's no lie.
Now the issue is feet.
How am I gonna lose in the translation when I'm watching it?
No, but you said it's not with the stickum. So confirm was on the feet or the singlet.
No, because old boy changed out. He changed out the singlet after that.
That's what I mean. So like, if there was anything put on the feet or the shoe, we really don't know that. So we're basing
I don't know that he checked it.
That.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think my problem.
I
think all of our problem is that the fact that the fact that we've been having to have this conversation is whack. To be 100 with you,
well, nobody else gonna do it. I'll do that.
Well,
and I respect all angles of it too, because he is 100% right. He's 100% right. If it ain't no proof about the shoe stuff or what, or no definitive, and even though the people said they seen it, you didn't bring it up. Even if the girls and whoever else saw it, the person who went and got Robert Keller,
you should have said something
about the singlet. They should have took that opportunity to say, "Hey, no, it's on. He sprayed it on his shoes too." They didn't.
Yeah.
Can't do nothing beyond that.
Hey,
or whatnot.
Here's the thing. This is straight up. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That's between that lifter, those lifters, whatever, and themselves. If you feel like, you know what it is, cool. I mean, if you feel like, hey man, you know what, I'm just trying to get what I can get, whatever. That's on you. That's, you know what I mean? Like, it sucks. It sucks to really put it that way, but that's between you and how you feel about yourself. If you feel like, you know what, this is something I need to do, then cool. That's something you need to do. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get the dub, so I guess it didn't help that much. But I mean, you know,
depends.
But I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, man, you know, being a lifter, being a competitor, you're going to try to figure out any and every way to get as many advantages as you can, to get the best performance that you can. And if people feel like, hey man, this is what I got to do to get as, you know, a couple kilos out of it, then whatever.
Well,
Go ahead, Six. It's on you.
Okay, I was gonna say. So it's actually good. X brought it up. If there is rumors going around and it hasn't been talked about, like we talked about on King of Lifts, and I didn't have the info, but some of the other codes did, that Angela was saying actually. They went into the rule books because like it's Arian and them who actually have the rule book. So I'm not nearly as familiar, but Arian's like he's a judge. Bill's ahead, and they went in talking about how it actually wasn't against the rules, but they did mention about like the shoes, but then it became like Keller went back twice apparently. So like you had a dude on the scene, like, you know, you got, you know, I do like that X brought it up and was like, look, here's what I heard, but at the same time, he's like, we should be able to talk about it. And if this is a good venue to talk, and if there is a rumor, let's address it.
Yeah.
Throw what facts we know, and then say, here's what we know for fact. Here's what we know for he said, she said.
Absolutely.
And it is good that we're not like judge, jury, executioner off of.
Right.
It's good to talk about it and be like, look, we don't know. This is what we know. What we know isn't enough to be like, fuck this dude.
Absolutely.
You know, apparently, right? You know, so this is like we're having the conversation because well, let's just say this. If you were Chance, if you didn't put anything on your feet and you did read the rule books and everybody was like, fuck this dude, you would be like, you know, I wouldn't mind if people talked about it and just like, you know, say what I did, and if you don't appreciate what I did, fine. But like, maybe he wasn't outside of the rules. Is that fair? I don't know, man. I don't know. I know.
It's fair because it's speculation, and the topic.
That's a lot of spec, dude.
And I'm gonna be 100%. I'm gonna be honest, man.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard the singlet and feet. That's what was being talked about at the meet or whatnot.
Right.
Damn. If it's cheating, it's cheating. I'm sitting there thinking like, so what is there to talk about? Why, like, if you've seen it, why is he still lifting?
Right.
So I'm like, what the hell is going on? And that's the only thing I'm worried about. And I'm gonna be honest. LS did an event a while ago or whatnot. I'm being as unbiased as I can because I don't fuck with Chance as a person or whatnot.
There you go.
Okay, here it is. I thought you didn't know.
Coming full circle.
Look, I don't fuck with him as a person, but look, if you're within the rule books, you didn't cheat. If no one said anything about the shoes, as mad as we want to be, you can only say so much,
right,
or whatnot, or because nothing's gonna be done. It's their fault. And like LS said, it's between him and himself if he decided he wanted to do that. And let's say he shipped a couple of those kilos to take that whatever place he got, 4th or 5th or whatnot, from 4th place from the 5th place guy. I feel for the 5th place guy. And now that it's being talked about, 5th place guy probably thinking about it in the back of his head, like, damn, I wonder if I lost to somebody that actually did what they talking about. That's the only thing that's sour about it to me or whatnot.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Maybe they tighten it up. Maybe it's something where they tighten it up, look for, all right, this is going about now. It's been talked about it enough, and we're allowed to use it on the back. So more people might start because you're allowed to. I don't think it's going to be a huge game changer for anybody's bench. I don't think it's going to be like that. And if they're worried about shoes, they might address and say, listen, if you think that you're allowed to use this, you are, but please use appropriately. You might be using inappropriately without even knowing because you see people spraying it back there. But but it is good that if we don't know, we give the benefit of the doubt that.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I
Yeah,
think,
right.
I think at the end of
Look, I
the
don't think we
day-
should go benefit
Well, I mean,
the other way.
I
We
do
know
agree. I think at the
fathers-
end of the day, you can't necessarily be judge and jury, but I mean, I guess it is dope to at least have the conversation.
For sure.
Not necessarily
Yeah,
from the
for sure.
perspective of like, hey man, this dude can eat a dick, but rather from the perspective of, all right, well, by us having this dialogue, by us talking about it, then I mean, all sides can, at least as many sides can be seen as possible, and then at the same time, like, you know what, I mean, it doesn't hurt to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
One thing I try never to do is be married to my opinions. And if I walk in with something, I try to be like my man X being super like he's taking this information in and being like, look, I'm not gonna be married to my opinions. Tell me otherwise, and I'm gonna listen. I
Well,
try to do
my
the same
is,
thing where I'm
prove
like,
me wrong. I
right,
don't
yeah.
mind
Be
being
open,
wrong.
be open.
Big step for me, man.
Yeah, I mean,
And I would hope people do that about me too. If my name got brought up in a podcast and I wasn't there, I would hope people also would be like, well, let's look at this from different angles.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I mean,
yeah.
and to not, I mean, I don't think, I mean, what do we benefit from throwing dirt on somebody's name? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, it's on them. Like, straight up. Like, regardless, I mean, if you feel like you're in the right, cool. If you feel like you're in the wrong, then cool, that's on you. Jay-Z said it best, what you eat don't make me shit. That's the truth.
It's true. That is true.
It's not gonna stop my grind. You know what I'm saying? It's anybody that competes against them, whatever. It's not gonna stop their they might have it in the back of their heads, whatever. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like if it's something that that they felt within the confines of the rules, then all right, cool, that's on you. I personally don't think I would ever do it. I don't think I would personally ever use it. But at the same time, that's me. That's my journey. Everyone's journey is different, man. Like if I could arch, I probably would, but I can't, so I never really do. It is, whatever. But
Amen.
I think at the end of the day, man, everyone's journey is their own. And for those of us that that love the sport as much as we do and try to give back to the sport as much as we do, I mean, a bit of gatekeeping, starts to happen because, I mean, you want to make sure that as much love and respect is given to the sport as you give to it. So yeah, I mean, and to be 100, like if people were like, man, it just what it is. I think anybody that loves the sport as much as we do will be upset. Like, so you don't even care? Like, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? So the fact that we are having this dialogue, the fact that we are having this conversation, I'm cool with it. Even cooler with the fact that, all right, cool, we talked about it, it is what it is. I mean, unless, the powers be, find a problem with it, I mean, there's really nothing we can do about it. So let's move on and, let's get to, moving more weight and making more things happen. I mean, because by and large, there was far more dope things that happened at City Nationals than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the biggest thing that really pissed me off was of anything was Ian Bell pulled some astronomical, insane, out of this world weight, and people actually had the nerve to try to talk down on it. Bro, please.
Are we gonna talk about this?
We gonna talk about that. That's what I wanted to get to. Because we got some, bro, we got some people out here that have the nerve to try to talk down. Like, first of all, holler at me when you can pull over 300 keys. Okay, cool. Now that that's out of the way, that takes out 3/4, probably 95% of the people. Let's be 100. So now that we have the small percentage of the percentage, now let's see that. Can you get close to the weight that Ian Bell pulled? Matter of fact, how about this? Can you get it off the ground without a jack? Because at this point, there's just some haters out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen. Listen, bro. I have seen.
Y'all ain't fucking with my mans, man. And y'all
real.
mad.
You know what I'm saying? And my thing is like, if you think my man is fugazi with this deadlift shit, you might want to check his record. This is what he does. Man. You know what I mean? That's the part I was dumbfounded. Like, didn't you just see this man squat half a building? You know what I'm saying?
What was the controversy here? Was it soft lockout, up and down
They
movement?
were saying a soft lockout.
It was
Controversy.
perfect deadlift, in my opinion. It's something that you're not overextending on. It's perfect. It's
Absolutely.
what you want to do as a deadlift.
No waste of motion.
Yeah.
There was no,
my coach even told me that. He's like, you overextended too much because you wanted to make sure that you got that 762 deadlift in. He's like, if you would have just locked in sooner,
you would have been fine.
Maybe you would have got a little bit more in the tank. Like, I don't know. But, we have the gatekeepers in powerlifting. It's almost like it's really it's almost like those fan debates in sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of sports fanatics. Granted, they're good for the sport because that's what gets the salary going. But they talk out of their ass so much that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Absolutely.
A lot of fans don't know what they're talking about.
No.
So when they get to that point, they find little ways to critique things. But looking at the deadlift right now, it's a perfect deadlift.
That's what I'm saying. Here's my
no
thing.
soft lockout at all.
This is my thing.
And I'm a stickler with that shit, too.
Absolutely.
I'm a stickler with deadlift.
I always laugh because I know as soon as it hits wax, by wax I mean as soon as you have your lift put on the king of the lifts, then these motherfuckers start coming out of the woodwork. They start coming out everywhere like, oh, that was wrong. That was what? Am I blind? I didn't see a lockout. Well, bro, I'm going at your account right now. I'm looking. You can't even pull 250. So you probably should shut up. Like, I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, people, they start trying to hate and trying to hate and trying to hate. And it's, you know, my thing I will always give Six Pack. I will give Six Pack this. He won't put Fugazi shit on King of the Lift because he just doesn't put it, bro. He puts heat on that hoe. You know what I'm saying?
Puts heat on that hoe.
Listen, and we talk about it. I get mad. Go ahead, Angelo.
If I can interrupt, the best thing on King of Lifts is how Sean Noriega's bench press doesn't get posted that much because everyone knows the comments that it's gonna get.
Well, you already know.
Like,
yeah.
It's a bench press, but I respect Ryan for that because it's like, man, I don't want to deal with like 600 comments of people disrespecting the sport of powerlifting like that.
Dude, it's sometimes like I don't want to post at certain times that during the day because I'm like I'm not going to be able to if I'm working or if I'm about to go to sleep, and then I'm like fuck, I'm going to wake up to a shitload of comments and people like, why aren't you monitoring this? I'm like, do you know how often I'm posting? And then if you don't post too often, people are like, why didn't you post this? I'm like, fuck, man, I gotta post more. So you post more, and they're like, why are you monitoring some of these posts? I'm like, shit, man, you gotta like shoot me. Someone's gotta literally DM me, and be like, you gotta go to this one comment section. Sometimes they have to, right? Because it's like an unmanageable job. So you're just like, fuck, or whatever. But like Angelo said, some of them I know for a fact. So a couple times I would take Sean's post, put it in my story, and just be like, I do that. Or Angel recognized it because I'm like, fuck it, I've got to get ahead of these people because they. The problem with King is the gift and the curse. Where if you get a big enough following, you'll have there's like a niche powerlifters you know, and then there's like strength sports enthusiasts that are also you get big enough beyond the powerlifting, which is good and bad because then they're gonna fucking comment as though they're. You know, they're powerlifting guys when they're not. It is like, dude, you're correcting people who are like world champions.
Thank you.
It's like, just stop, man. Just stop. But that would be kind of like what Angel was saying about the people who were talking about Ian, where it's like some of these people I'll check. Some of them don't even follow King of Lifts. The algorithm picked up a lot of commotion. They end up coming over because, you know, whatever. If it gets too many likes, fucking laymen are gonna come in, and then they're like,
This is not real. Am I blind? I didn't see the lockout.
Let me coach this fucking world champion.
Bro, I can't tell you how. I had to think of what I was going to say because I was about to come with some egg shit and just start blazing people in the comment. I was literally like, I chose violence that morning. And like, I was like, you know what, let me chill. Let me think of something halfway decent to say. I mean, because like, it's one thing, you know, when it's somebody that you're acquainted with, but then it's another thing. It's one of your boys, like a person you literally, bro. I have countless videos of Ian's deadlifts, and I'm like, hey, let me see if I can like emulate that. Let me see if I can be as efficient with the movement as this guy is, and to watch these people try to come from like, wait, what? First of all, it's rare. Not knocking you, Six Pack. It's rare that an equipped pull gets put on King of the Lifts. So you got to know it's the real if it gets put on King of the Lifts. You know what I'm saying? Like on that level. So I'm like, first of all, you don't put Fugazi on. You don't post Fugazi. So I'm like, all right, man. First of all, check your source. Second of all, check who's doing the execution of the lift. And third and foremost, maybe make sure you're in the same stratosphere as the person you're talking about before you get to popping off the mouth. Like that part I've never, really been able to really wrap my brain around. Like, you really feel like you have an opinion right now.
But here's the thing, though, and I gotta ask you this, LS, and maybe this whole panel here. Go on House of Highlights, go on Sports Center, and see the thousands of comments that people say about LeBron James, how he is shit, or Giannis is overrated. Like these fucking guys who don't even have an ounce of talent, the ounce of athleticism that Giannis or LeBron has.
Absolutely.
Or taking in every sport, but then you have to internalize it and be like, okay, that's what sport is.
Right. Okay.
That's what being a fan is. Like, and now I don't know. Maybe it's a progression in our niche sport where it's becoming a little bit more popular, where people have an opinion and they're not in the now. They have no idea what it's like to be. They have no idea what it's like to be Sean Noriega. They have the only thing they're going to, in relation to Sean or Ian, is watching in the stands, watching them lift.
Right.
That's the only relation they're ever going to have. And that's a lot of fans. That's a lot of fanatics.
Right.
So I don't know. To me, it's like I welcome it because it's a progression in the sport in a way.
It is. But I feel like it's still thousands, damn near millions of degrees of separation between them and LeBron.
Yeah, exactly.
And Giannis. With these schmoes, there's fewer degrees of separation. And of course, I'm going to take it a lot more personal. We are going to take it a little bit more personal because we know these people personally. You know what I'm saying? And as we should. I mean, again, I'm with you. I do welcome it because it does show the progression of the sport, how it is becoming more common, and how people are, they feel like now that they have more of an opinion on a sport that they may not be so much of a specialist in. But I'm still going to take it personal when it's one of my people. I'm still going to take it personal if it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and it should be. You know what I mean? Like, because you do have those LeBron lovers. You do have those Giannis lovers. They're like, wait a minute, that's my guy. And they don't even know the guy. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, there are going to be those people on the left that talk that yam. But then there's going to be like people like us on the right, like, hold on, that's my guy. Like, that's what's going to propel it. Like, I mean, if we're like, you're right, he was kind of soft, it is what it is. That's my man, though. He worked like, hell no, that's not gonna slide. You can get a lot more traction for people like, nah, man. First of all, you probably should watch your mouth. You don't know who this dude is. You know what I mean? And it's just gonna keep doing like this. I mean, because I feel like at the end of the day, Six Pack wakes up, he chooses violence. Like, I'm gonna post this up. We finna see what these people do. You know what I mean? Like.
You know what was funny? Personally, like I thought it was like 10% of me. 10% of me was like what you're saying, LS. Like, y'all don't know how hard I work. Y'all don't know how thorough I've read the rule book and what I know what I need to do on the platform. How many years it's taken to get to this place. Like y'all can't even conceive that work. Like most of y'all, like 80% of y'all that are making these comments. 90% of me was just like, this is comedy. This is ridiculous. And like Angela was saying, like, this is sport. Like, I follow Sports Center, House of Highlights, like all those accounts on IG. These people talking shit about these elite level athletes.
Right.
That the brain can't even think about how to comprehend what they do.
Absolutely.
And it's just like a part of sport. And I don't have a problem with that. I did feel a little petty because I got home after a late night after the meet, and I feel like KD on my burner account. And I was like replying with emoji.
Come on,
Wait a minute. I was feeling myself. I was like, but at the end of the day, like I can't referee myself. Like I can only do my only job is to lift on the platform, and I'm gonna do everything just like those two guys we were talking about. You try to get the most out of the rule book that you can.
You really
don't want to do more that you have to on the platform, so you can be as efficient as possible, so you can lift the most amount of weight as possible.
That's good circle back on, man.
That's what I'm trying to do on the platform, and then I do what you do, and then it's in the referee's hands.
Facts.
And
what'd you get? 2 white lights. It's golden. Shut y'all ass up.
All you needed was 2. Yeah, man. Hey, you see what I did? You welcome, Angelo. I got you, baby. I got you, baby.
White lights is all you need. Also, to put things in perspective here, I'm standing by my sports memorabilia. So I got Dan Marino's autograph signature over here. People criticize him for never winning a Super Bowl.
That's
Well,
my favorite quarterback.
That picture right there is worth hundreds of dollars.
Do
Just
you
because
know that's
he
my
signed
favorite
it.
quarterback all time? I don't know. I think we
So-
talked about that.
I got him over there. I got Brian Urlacher's signed ball over here.
Urlacher,
Nick Buckus and Mike Singletary. And people in Chicago said that Brian Urlacher's overrated.
I'm sorry, what?
Dude's a
What?
Hall of Famer. He's
Get
a Hall
outta
of
here.
Famer. And you know what? That ball, because he signed it, is worth hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands.
Absolutely.
Who knows? I
Oh,
got
where's my-
actually, Ryan, you're gonna appreciate this. Jake LaMotta.
I
and
see
Vinny
him up there. Yeah.
So they got critics. People
Absolutely.
think Jake LaMotta wasn't as good as a fighter as he was. People think Vinny Pazienza wasn't as good a fighter as he was. And you know what? I'm hanging their stuff in my back room because
Because
critics don't fucking matter.
exactly,
Fans'
you love him. You love him.
opinions don't really matter that much. Greatness is greatness.
It's like
So it's gonna happen. Actually, it's almost a badge of honor at that point. People
Talk
wanna
it, Angelo. You
criticize
talk
a big
it.
lift.
Talk it.
You want to criticize a big lift? That's because you done something that they couldn't do. Jake
And they probably
LaMotta
won't ever be able to
went
do.
5 fights with Sugar Ray Robinson. No one can say that, but everyone's like, he only won one of them.
Yeah, you beat Sugar in
It's
his
Jake
prime.
LaMotta.
He beat him in his prime,
He's
though.
Jake
Let's,
LaMotta.
Nobody did that.
let's
Yeah.
let's the facts are he beat Sugar Ray in his prime. That's ooh.
Nobody did that.
We got
Um,
Hall of Famers back here.
to snowball on what
Even
Angelo
Rex
was saying.
I got a Rex Grossman signed ball.
You
Now,
got
he
Rex.
isn't a Hall of
Get out of
Famer.
here, guy. You're losing now. You're taking L's.
You
Exactly.
We're here now. We're
Here's
going back
Matt.
down.
You
What
know
happened
Rex
to me
Grossman
said
was
Rex
great.
Grossman?
Rex Grossman got his team to a Super Bowl. Rex
No,
Grossman
wait, what?
played
Nah,
in
hold on.
the NFL. No, he got his team to a Super Bowl. How many
He was
Bears,
on the roster of the
Bears
Giants.
quarterbacks can say that? 2. One of them is Rex Grossman.
Angelo, I'm going to say this, and I say this with love. We will no longer mention Rex Grossman on this.
Hey. Hey, he personally gave me these 2 signed balls. He's a class act, and also he's better than all of the quarterbacks.
And that's how I feel when people talk shit about
We all
Ian
agreed
Bell.
with that.
The
yeah,
way you
like
feel
the
about
comment
Rex,
section
that's
stuff,
how I feel.
I laughed at that comment section shit. I was like, this is crazy. These
Comment.
motherfuckers out their goddamn mind.
But
Only
I do think
say
Angelo. Sorry, you go ahead, X. Were you still?
Don't-
Sorry, go ahead.
I just one more thing. I would say something. My thing was while we were back there, and I said this while I was right next to Ian, we taking the singlet off. I was like, damn, it sure is a lot of hate going around here in this room right now. That's the only thing I have a problem with is a lifter. Like, hey man, shut up. You 2 white lights. Would you take the lift if you got it? All right, then shut your ass up then. Them, I would be like, all right, chill out. The comment section, come on, man. Like you said, it's people. You're not even picking up one of them reds off the floor. I don't want to
Okay.
hear you. Like, it's funny. It's funny. But the other people, there was people hating in the building too. And I'll say something about that. I don't like that shit.
What you got, Ian?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's the one thing I didn't appreciate was some of the talk in the building and somebody going to protest that lift to try to turn
Word?
it down.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
So
When I said it, I
Oh,
was like,
I
damn,
flew-
that's a lot
I
of
flew-
haters
I
in
was
here.
gone
I
by
said that
then.
shit out loud.
it was somebody that I knew. So I mean, I get like if you don't know me or whatever, you want to protest my lift, that's all fine and dandy.
Oh,
Like I
that's
have no
rough,
problem with that.
bro. That's rough.
Like
right
if
there.
you know me,
That's
I don't know, feel a little personal. That's
Was
all.
it a
hold on.
competitor that was the competitor's coach that
Actually, yeah. Ryan, you go. Sorry.
was it a competitor's coach that was vying for that position? Like, what's the scenario here?
So I heard 2 different things. One of it was not the coach of the lifter. I was battling with somebody for best lifter during that session, and it was a guy in the 83s. So I heard that it was his coach, or then I also heard there was another coach that wasn't necessarily coaching that guy that went to the jury.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean a
but-
dude was there? Okay, so this might be. So if I'm understanding, so if it's a competitor in that session, another competitor you're going against,
Mhm.
yeah, you might be like, hey, I don't think that. I think you see that happen. But you're saying somebody wasn't. Some other coach was watching, different session, came around and was like, he's about to beat my man. I'm not involved in the session. But he's
What?
talking to a coach is that what you're saying? And he's talking to a coach, talking him into going to it, not to help his guy, but to help his guy who
my
wasn't in the session,
God.
long game, whatever, like that. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I heard.
Not even in
Oh
the same
my.
weight class.
So I'm not appreciative of that. But at the end of the day, like at the other side, like I get it. Like you want your guy to win best lifter, and there's money on the table. So like I get that, but like I don't know. I know these guys, so.
So Ian, can I ask you what was there an actual competitive edge that coach could have got from you missing your deadlift?
Well, if I miss that deadlift, that other guy wins best lifter.
Okay, so in that
So it makes sense.
Then I kind of get it because me and Gavin Adine had that talk on a podcast that's coming up. He had a big controversy. Alex Usar and Joey Flex had a little bit of confrontation with challenging one of Gavin's squats, and it's like in competitive sports, if you're not doing that, I don't know if you're really looking out for your lifter because you want them either to win best lifter or in the weight class.
Yeah.
So in that circumstance, I kind of get it because at the end of the day, you kind of got to look out for your lifter and try to give them the path for victory because it's the name of the game. And I think Matt Gary even did it with Bryce Lewis and Ashton Ruska. Like, it was two white light
if it's
he went to go challenge it. And I don't know if he believed it was a 3 or a 2 red light lift, but if you're a coach, you kind of got to do that.
Well, that would have swung it if he got it too. So yeah, you might as well.
Exactly.
But if it's a guy,
it's
But my thing, Angelo, if this guy's on the outside wanting his friend or a guy that he's rooting for to get the dub, in terms of the pound for pound, the best lifter. Like, I mean, you're not even involved in that session in any form or fashion, is what I'm saying.
Like, what's the rules there? So this is why, So I'm not sure what the rules are.
In there.
So I know what Andrew's saying, and I'm on the same page. We're like,
same.
If, what Matt Gary did, like you see all the time at the World.
Yeah, you see that all the time.
Yeah. I have no problem with that as part of it. But I'm not sure what the rules are. If only a coach in the session is allowed to protest, so then a guy outside talks someone inside to do it to benefit the guy outside. If there's a rule against that, but you're going around, can I talk to you a minute? Then you might be like, man, there's a reason why this rule's in. You're not being honest, bro. I'm supposed to go against my fellow competitors, not your guy from 2 sessions earlier. Like, it's not supposed to impact. I don't know what the rules are, full disclosure, but I'm with Angelo on, I have nothing against protesting. Some people get upset about it. That's part of the game.
I'm with
and you
that,
shouldn't, let me also say, you shouldn't, and this has nothing to do with Ian's situation. This is something else. If you get protested on, you cannot get in the guy's face and make an altercation about it. Because it can't be about
it's
intimidation.
Part of the game.
There'll always be, because it can't start resorting to intimidation and physical, I'm bigger than you, so I'm going to intimidate you to not protest against me. But other people who are, you can't start doing that. It's got to be by the rules.
It's not the WWE. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, obviously, it's a sport. People want their people to get the dub, and I'm cool with if you're in the session and you guys are going at it, you're playing the game of chess. You know what I mean? And you want you guys to have a chance to get that dub. That's awesome. But I mean, if you're reaching outside, I mean, it's literally you're reaching. You're reaching so that I don't think I'm with that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter because Ian Bell got the pull.
Well, it came a moot point.
My question is, Ian, were we right when we heard them say like they waited too long to even protest? They was just like no, or did they?
No, they protested. They protested, and the jury didn't. The jury, I think I heard the jury didn't come to a consensus, so the lift stood.
Okay, all right.
And that's exactly what I actually had 2 red lights lift. 2 white lights lift on your lift in particular. Me looking at it, I don't even see that. Like, I see a deadlift that's perfectly the shoulders are past the hips.
Absolutely.
That's me. Now, I will side with the referees. They have a hard job because they're watching it in real time. I watched it 3 or 4 times in order to come to my 3 white light lift. But
absolutely.
I mean, the jury's doing the same thing. So, I think occasionally you got to give USAPL the credit with the jury. Like, hey, we saw a good lift. Yeah. And it's within your rights to contest it. Now, I do agree with someone in another session, kind of calling in a favor. Yeah. I'm not cool with that. Like, I told even Joey Flex this when I interviewed him. Like, dude, if you don't protest one of my 2 white lights lifts, and it's either for a 3rd place, 2nd place, or 1st place, I'm gonna think you're getting soft on me.
Facts.
You come back.
Like,
You
I'm
got
like,
soft.
Are you?
You got
Are you
soft.
Who are you right now?
Hang him
Yeah.
up.
And then if Joe Stanek doesn't do the same thing for me, I'm be like,
We need
Yo,
to,
we
we
gotta
need to make a
talk.
switch. Yeah.
we
need
were
to have
we're
our time. Sit down.
until this
Sit down.
very
We
moment.
need
You
to
better
talk.
challenge Russ.
Yeah.
I mean, like if there was a depth problem with Russ, like he had in 2019,
Yeah.
and at 2nd to 1st place for me, I'd be like, Joe, please
Go.
Yeah.
You
I was
know,
just
question, you
thinking,
need to
you
go.
know, I was
Dude,
thinking
this
like
might be my only chance.
for best lifter, like I was thinking because I was thinking about the 83 I was going against, and I was thinking about Perk that was going to give me a run for my money for best lifter.
Right.
And like I'm cool with Perk, like I'm one of Perk's biggest fan, and I love that guy. And I was thinking
Absolutely.
like if I was in that position and I saw Perk pull his last deadlift, and I had any question about it, but he got 2 white lights, I don't think I would go to the jury to protest that.
Mm-hmm.
As he's outside of my weight class, I'm cool with him.
Yeah.
It's for best lifter. It's not for 1st place, not for 2nd place, not
Yeah.
for a slot at Worlds or anything like that.
Right.
It's for best lifter. I don't think I would do that in that position.
Right.
Not everybody's me, and I'm cool with that. And if you decide to protest, that's your decision. That's well within your rights.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I was just like, I don't think I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
So they
Well,
are
it's-
allowed to.
it-
It
it
is in their
stings.
rights to, if they're not in your session, that coach can involve himself in the session
Yeah.
he's not coaching in.
Well, I think the lifter's coach has to protest the lift.
Right. So
But,
so then in effectual, he can't. He has to go to someone else to talk them into doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's
I
where
was
it gets
saying,
weird.
what I heard that the other person, and I don't want to get too specific, but the other person that went to the jury or told somebody to go to the jury has somewhat of a position of power within the organization.
This podcast is getting fucking juicy, gentlemen.
You know what I'm saying? I just wanted us to have a good time.
Man, please name dropping. Start name.
That's right. That's
Nah,
right.
leave
X
it
is
alone,
like,
leave
out
it
of out.
alone,
Let's
man.
go.
Leave it
Take him a
alone.
while, bro. He got time today.
Hey, leave it alone, Bell, till we get these nominations, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's get this world team solidified, and then I'll
let's
tell you
get these
everything.
nominations first, and then we can talk
Give
afterwards.
me the name, man. I'll do it. I'll take
Boy, I'm telling you, boy.
X
Listen,
shoots from the hip, man.
I'm gonna be 100 with you right now. If you don't have somebody in your clique like X, you are missing out completely. Every clique needs an X. If you don't have one, we call him X. He's the X factor. If you don't have an X in your clique, you are sorely missing out. This dude, I mean,
Man, I just ride for my people.
he really does, dude.
While we was back there, I love seeing Greg and Ian do their thing. Like it was, of course, everybody back there is worried about their lifters. It's a great feeling back there. It's good to see everybody competing and everything. But at the end of the day, I'm there for Ian and Greg. So I'm gonna be their number one person. I'm talking my shit out loud. I'm not quiet about it. I don't care. I'm not disrespectful, but I'm rooting for them the whole time, like to the most. I don't
As you
understand.
should. I mean, like, you gotta ride for your people, man. I honestly, I only have one more thing, man. I mean, and those of you guys that have been on the podcast before, really, the only one that's really been on it, really has been Six Pack. We have a Rushmore.
Oh.
All right, so the Rushmore will be your top 4 people. Actually, I have Angelo slated to come on pretty soon, so I'm excited about that. The Rushmore is pretty much your top 4 people at nationals. It could be 2 raw, 2 equipped. It could be all equipped. It could be whomever. But yeah, we'll go down the line of your Rushmore for Super Nationals. Does anybody want to go first?
Okay, Ian.
Okay.
Taylor.
Okay.
Okay. Jasmine.
Jazz. Okay.
Okay. And this is for just for this meet, not for all time. Just what happened at this meet, right?
Just for Super Nationals.
Just for this meet. Shit.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's a good one, bro.
Yeah, that last one's always
Last one is Because at one hand, I'm like, okay, Russ, because he keeps winning. But on the other hand, I like how Keiko, like after all that bullshit he had to go through, still won.
Already. Say
So
it.
it's like that last one. I'm kind of like, I don't. Maybe I'm missing. Shit. I'll give the Keiko on that last one.
All right. So you got repeat yours, please.
I got Ian,
Ian,
right? Taylor,
Taylor, okay,
Jasmine,
Jazz,
and
and
then Keiko.
Keiko. That's solid, bro. That's super solid. All right, Reggie's is on wax. Who is next? Angelo, you can't go next. Angelo, you can't go next
Why can't he go next?
because he's a competitor.
Was that
He gonna do what Dialogue did?
I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna let you guys know.
Competitor one more time.
Six
Taylor
pack is going
Atwood?
last.
Let him go.
Taylor Atwood,
Okay.
Taylor Atwood,
See,
and Taylor Atwood.
I knew
No,
it, dude.
Stop fire.
Because he's
No,
inside
no,
fire.
but yeah. I mean, I'll go right now. I mean, as far as competitor goes, I don't think it matters because I really respect that that Mount Rushmore that Reggie had.
Reggie put one out there.
Yeah, it was a great one. But seriously, when I found out that Taylor Atwood totaled 838, I didn't believe him. I didn't. We're getting piss tested together, and I just seriously couldn't believe that he totaled 838. Taylor Atwood definitely up there for me.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to show some single ply guys some love, and girls for that matter. So Ian, I'll have him in there as well as my Mount Rushmore as far as competitors go. But you know who's someone? I mean, we're talking about these new weight classes. Chandler Bad.
Okay, talk it.
Came out there and killed it in 69.
Thank you, sir.
Like,
go ahead.
I could really see her taking that mantle and running with it for a very long time.
You took the words right out of the mouth. I mean, obviously I was in the back. I was able to watch. The way she was so calm, collected, like she obviously it was like she'd been there before. Like, I mean, it's always I know exactly how this is going to end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this weight class has existed forever.
But also the thing is, like, it's not like he just came out of nowhere. I mean, in the USAPL, obviously he has, but
right.
He's been competing for such a long time.
Absolutely.
USPA, IPL, and actually that to me kind of holds a little bit more value because it's hard to do that.
She's seasoned.
It's hard to switch federations.
Seasoned.
Yeah. So she knows what she's doing. Great seasoned competitor. I want to put her up there because I actually see her. You know how we talk about Sam Calhoun? You know, I talk about Heather Connor. Yeah. I really think Chandler Babb could be that for 69. Now I know there's some heavy hitters in there.
No. I agree with you.
I know there's some heavy hitters in there though with
Absolutely.
69 with that weight class coming up. Kristen Dunsmore is one of the lifters I think about. Also, Jasmine Adrogo, young lifter, kosher. I think she could potentially make a little run for that too. But with Chandler Babb, she really set herself apart from everyone. And then that fourth spot is hard for me. You know what? I think exactly what Ryan said. Jasmine Penn with a lot of the female competitors, it was a toss up for me with Jasmine Penn and Andrea Riley. Because Andrea Riley came in and really, she was favored to win, in my opinion. She was favored to win, taking it from Marissa Inda. But like Jasmine Penn with the World's performance, with the 2019 Nationals performance, and also her getting her 2 red light deadlift overturned, which was a perfect challenge for Michael C. I was like, please challenge that because I didn't see cramping from the middle judge.
Absolutely.
Please, Michael, challenge
you gotta
this.
Challenge it.
And she got it. It was great to see. I think it was so well deserved for her. I'm going to put her as my 4th.
I'm with that.
Jasmine Penn. So I got Chandler Babb, Jasmine Penn on the female side, Ian Bell, and of course, Taylor Atwood. I'm sorry, Russ. I know you're my 83 kg brother in this. We want to restore some credibility again to 83s. I hope you increase that total a whole lot more so Taylor Atwood and the 74s can stop talking their shit. But as it stands right now, that's my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I'm with that. Ian, go ahead, bud.
All right. I was looking at the numbers just because I didn't want to leave anybody out. There's too many amazing performances. But I got to go with my boy Ashton, winning that Open National title. You know, those bookends are crazy. His bookends are insane. And that was just really impressive to see. I got to go with Bonica. I mean,
you really
come
have
on.
to.
Two titles in 2 days. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
ridiculous. Back to back.
Absolutely.
Setting American records. I mean, I can't even imagine doing a raw meet, then the next morning lifting equipped, lifting
less than 24 hours, mind
less than 24 hours, doing 110% of your raw max plus. I mean, that's insane to me. And I don't know. Bonica is she's one of the greatest of all time.
She really is.
Regardless of gender. And so I got to put her on my Rushmore whenever we're talking about it. Got to go Taylor LaChapelle, also on the equipped side.
Mm-hmm.
She went up a weight class,
okay,
and still broke all the records. And I don't know exactly how old she is, but she's no older than 23. And she went to her first Open World. She was 14, and she just was killing it at the 57s. Went up a weight class, killed it. Nobody was even close to her. Also got to go with Kelsey McCarthy, equipped lifter in the 69s. I mean, took the American record on squat, on bench, on total, just went into a new weight class and just kind of set the standard. And for fifth, I mean, I can't not put Taylor Atwood on there. I mean, I ain't never seen no shit like that. I mean, never. I mean, that's like, you know, I feel like Taylor Atwood is one of those guys, you throw him in the heyday of 80s powerlifting, and he's right there with everybody. He's winning those meets. You know, he's going to Hawaii record breakers and he's winning that shit. He's going to USPF nationals. He's winning that shit.
Absolutely.
And that's just mind blowing to me.
He's a throwback, dog. He's that golden age powerlifting throwback. Like we haven't seen something like that in a long time, man. You know, and you got to give that man his flowers because he's on another level. And the thing is, everything he did, he left kilos out there. So that's the part I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this dude can do. X, you want to go or D? You want? Let's go D. D, you go next.
Man, you treat me like a stepson.
Shut
up. Taylor, Ian, Keiko, and Bonica.
That's it. No explanation.
Go right back to you.
The most straightforward response.
Hey, you know. D, golly. All right. X, it's all you, bro.
I'm biased. I don't give a damn. Ian Bell, Ellis McClain, Greg Johnson. Who else I knew there? Michael Haffenbrack. I don't give a fuck.
Ellis, hold on. Do you know this, that you might be the only lifter that's top 5 in 3 different weight classes?
Oh, no.
Well, now you know.
There you go.
That's big, right? I mean, that's crazy.
That's old. Hey,
no.
Ryan, tell him
Take it, Ellen. Take it.
Ryan, tell these boys, that's just we've been around a while. That's all that is.
Take it, Ellen. Take it.
Hey, longevity though. I mean, we're talking about regular sports. Longevity is key. Absolutely. So if you are around long enough, and in all honesty, we're talking about the 105s here, and you placing within the top 5 of the 105 weight class, which is stacked weight class. Dude, you got to give yourself some flowers here.
No, right. Well, you know what, dude?
Bryce Lewis and I forget the gentleman's name. Well, we were talking about that over lunch. Like, he told me, like, he might be the only guy to get top 5 in 3 different weight classes. No one could really say that in powerlifting, at least in my knowledge. Ryan might be a little bit better knowledge than me because I've been, I'm a little bit of a noob in powerlifting, but I can't think of a raw lifter who's got top 5 in 93, 105, and 120. That's ridiculous.
It was fun. I don't think I'm ever gonna do it again. I'll tell you right now, my body hurts.
He's humble, cute.
Hey, Ryan.
Okay, doggy.
My man. I'm excited to hear this. What you got?
So 4 people on Mount Rushmore. I'm Canadian. Bear with me. My man threw in 5, so I was like, "Holy shit! Don't fuck with the Canadian now." I was like, "Is there 5 people on Mount Rushmore?" Okay, so 4 it is.
4.
All right, let's get Taylor Atwood out of the way. Obviously, I got to throw Taylor Atwood on there. I'm gonna stick with the classic because I'll stick with what I know, but because I'm gonna be talking out of pocket. But I'm hats off to my man Ian. He's getting his roses today. Let's talk about Heather Connor, man. Posting up that 408. I know she wanted to be the lightest woman in history to hit 200 kilo. Missed it. She's still chasing it, but for a 47, she's not even 47 kilo, but she's 47 kilo queen. If she actually hits that 200 kilo, it's a massive milestone. However, for her to break that record that dates back to 2015 in the classic division, that just doesn't, records don't last that long, man. So 408, massive. So she goes on there. So it's right now, it's Atwood, it's Heather. Runaway favorites. And now I'm going to start going into people who won close as fuck battles. I'll throw Kaiko on there because I know it wasn't his big total, but that's not sports.
Nope.
You know, if that was a sports, if that's how it worked, just your nominations, we give the World Series to the Yankees every year, right?
Every year.
It's not how it works. You got to go out there, you play. And one thing Kaiko did, he went 9 for 9 on a day that, like, everything that was leading up to the meet itself, his body was going against him, and he just adjusted on the day. And instead of refusing to adjust, what a lot of people do, end up going 4 for 9, 5 for 9, having a shit day, he operated within his means, still went 9 for 9,
Champion.
won by 0.5.
Yes,
and
sir.
that's how you do it. You just win, baby. You build that total. You
Do what
adjust
you gotta do to get that
day.
dub.
That's huge, because if you don't adjust your day and just try to be big-headed about it, you miss your third squat. You grind that third and miss, what happens to your dead? The percentages of people who miss their third dead when they miss their third squat, it's ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
And then it starts snowballing from there, right? So, bam, and it was a beautiful fucking win. So we have 2 runaway favorites and one that won a battle. I'm going to dip back over to the women's division. Brittany Suplicki, who won by 0.5 kilo.
Yeah.
Her and Meg Scanlon battled out the 2 favorites. Both of them missed their opener.
Yeah.
Meg lost on strength on her opener, comes back, grinds out her on her second, her opening weight, and you're like, what does this mean? Is she coming, she's coming back from having twins? Everyone knows that story. Not only the weight loss, try losing that kind of weight while gaining strength. It's fucking impossible. Then your hormones out of whack, and you're going to do battle with Brittany Suplicki. It's crazy to think about in that short a period of time.
Yep.
To come back from that, and she's within, for a brief period of time, she had it on Brittany, and Brittany could not miss. There was a little bit of jockeying around with Ali Weinberg also in there and possibly in position to move in if those ladies kept missing, and they were missing. So it came down to Brittany, who missed her second deadlift, regrouped, hit her last deadlift, and she's here, broke down, started crying because it was a dramatic win. So 2 runaway favorites with Heather and Atwood both making history, and they're utterly dominant on the U.S. platform and probably worlds. Can't see anybody anywhere, probably in the fucking universe, unless the Monstars want to come down, and they got somebody those sizes. But and then 2 amazing battles that is that sports. If everyone's a runaway favorite, it gets kind of boring, but these back and forth battles right up to the very last flipping deadlift, and you don't know who's going to win, and they delivered. So that would be my Mount Rushmore. I hope I did it right.
Those are, I'll make mine super simple and quick, so I don't take up too much of you guys' time. Obviously, just knowing the battle that Ian's gone through, battling his body and all that stuff to get back, to the form he got to. I got to put Ian on that. It was awesome to watch. I'm going to definitely put Heather Connor. Heather went in. The one thing I'll have to give her, and you can say the same about Taylor. Taylor's on everyone's. Taylor's just it's an automatic, but I'm gonna keep him off mine just for the sole fact. I mean, he's on everyone's. And I want to give somebody else their flowers. But I want to give Heather Connor her flowers. Best of the fact that it's the consistency for me. Year in and year out. You know what I mean? It's just it's fun to watch, and I always try to think like, when you start going over 3 times body weight, working on that 4 times body weight as far as deadlift, that's insanity for anyone, any size. But she's so small, dude. and when you actually meet her, like most of us have face to face, like you are a pocket-sized human being pulling, weight 3, 4, weight classes above what you should be pulling, which is I think is absolutely amazing. So obviously she gets the one. My next one, I'm gonna go with Kelsey McCarthy too. I honestly, man, I was late on learning about her. She is an absolute beast. I love watching her lift. I love watching Kelsey lift. I'm gonna also go with Benika. Gotta go with Benika. I mean, you can say what you want. She's out there winning, man. She's getting just stupid dubs. So yeah, man. That's it, dude.
Hold on 1 second. But technically, the athlete that has like the biggest runaway is Amanda Lawrence. So do we put her? Was that your number 4?
No, I mean it's not that I'm hating on
as like
Amanda.
an honorable
It's
mention
just
with
honorable mention. Okay, because I was saying like,
yeah.
I kind of like just like the competition.
No, here's the thing.
Talk about it.
It's not a knock on Amanda, and I don't think any of us are knocking Amanda. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost feels like she just does this. She's just been doing this for so long, and she hasn't. But you know what I'm saying?
How many lifts does she need to win best overall lifter? 5? 6?
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Absolutely.
Best overall lifter and needs to go 5 for 9 or 6 for 9 for a meet. I had her on the podcast recently, and I talked to her like, how do you get motivated? Because if I want to win any weight class, or most competitors want to win best overall lifter, I mean, let alone their weight class, but also best overall lifter, they got to go 9 for 9.
Absolutely.
You're wrapping things up with your second deadlift.
Thank you.
What the fuck?
And so you literally, my thing, I always laugh. I'm like, so what does it feel like playing with house money after your first deadlift? Because at that point, once you get your deadlift opener, like now I'm playing with house money. Now it's just about having fun. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go ahead and get this. I'm gonna get this second deadlift, get this check, and then after that, I'm doing this. The rest of the meet, and the thing is, she never loses intensity. She always stays in the game. It's hard. It'd be different if, and me and the fellas, we talked about this before, it would be hard to knock her if she were like, this girl's just, she's rude, she's arrogant, whatever. She's none of that. She's one of the sweetest, nicest people you ever meet. She'll ask you for a selfie at any given point in time. Like, she's just a super cool person. You know what I'm saying? She's a super cool person. She's super fun, obviously, to podcast with. And like, you can't help but root for her when she's out there doing her thing. I feel bad that I don't have her on my Rushmore, but I don't have her on my Rushmore. Not that it's a knock on her, but I don't have Atwood on my Rushmore either. So, I mean, don't scoff at me. I mean,
that's true.
It's just difficult. It's hard to do because even I talk to her, it's like, I don't know how it feels to win your weight class by 100 kilos.
Okay. Hell, I don't know what it's like to win at 500 pounds.
How you do that? It's like,
yeah.
I don't know how to relate to that person. So I think that always gets involved when you're taking, I say like a Mount Rushmore. Absolutely. Or best overall lifters or something that you're either could relate to. It's hard, man, because I don't know how that feels. I don't many lifters don't know how you can be that much better than the field.
Yeah.
And still win best overall female raw lifter. Absolutely. With someone like Heather Connor who's doing insane things.
And Benika, who's doing insane things as well.
The reason why I didn't, again, you guys make good points, like, because I was mulling this over too. It was going to come down between her and Heather. And the reason why I went the Heather route is both of them are fantastic. Right. And if I was going for like the 2 runaways, I took Heather, who showed like broke the long-standing record in, if we're talking historical performances.
Yeah.
And also won, and then Atwood historical performance also won, whereas Amanda did phenomenal. But that wasn't her best showing. So for the runaway favorites, like she was like left being like, she actually was like, when like I was talking to her, was like, I don't know if I'm that hot about that performance. I actually wasn't that pleased. Like she won. She's a fantastic lifter. And you're right. To your point, she's a super nice girl. So like if you talk to her, sweet.
Yeah.
But But yeah, so that's the only we got to split hairs between the best of the best, right? Like these are not only national champions, they're sitting world champions as well. We're talking
Yep.
about like they're the best and also the best greatest of all time. Like she's the greatest 84 of all time. Heather's the greatest 47 of all time in the
Yep.
classic division. So there's no like, this is no shit talking. I just was like, all right, if we're just going off performance wise,
Let's go with history.
Heather's was historic in
Yep.
this 47s. Amanda's was not historic in 84s. I got to find a tiebreaker. That's what it was for me. But I don't know. Maybe you guys had. That's it.
No, I'm
That's
with
all I
that.
had, man.
I always it's so hard. I mean, because with Amanda, it's just like you can go with Amanda and you never go wrong. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
Amanda. I always feel like Amanda and Taylor are automatics. They're gonna be if
You
if do
could,
a best-
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of is what it is. But I will say this, and I'll shut up about all the rest of it. The only thing that I would have loved, I guess it would have been my ugly. I'm going back to my ugly. The only thing that I would have loved to have seen, you know what I mean? I would have loved to have seen Jesus and Ray go at it.
Oh, shit.
Straight
Oh,
up.
don't even talk about that, man.
I
That's
did
like-
it. I said what I said.
Joey, like me talking to Joey Flex, like he is having just like such FOMO. He's like, my head would have exploded if it would have been Jesus with Joey versus Ray Williams with Matt Gary.
Absolutely.
Like, are you like you can't draw up something better in powerlifting?
Nah.
Super heavies. You're talking about Ali Frazier.
Yeah, dude.
You're talking about something big. Super heavies to me, Ryan, you could maybe relate to this, like, is like the heavyweight division in boxing.
Absolutely.
Where it doesn't get like it doesn't matter. They're the best fighter on the planet.
Absolutely.
I don't care about this pound for pound shit.
No, I just
don't
want to
care
see.
about all this
They're
other
gonna
stuff.
move the
It's
most.
the strongest damn dude at
Yeah.
Raw Nationals. Same thing with the heavyweight division. It doesn't matter if Floyd Mayweather is doing whatever he can. He's going to get knocked the fuck out
Absolutely.
by Tyson Fury. We all know that.
Right.
That is what I
Equate.
put the relation to
Yeah.
and associate it with.
Oh no, the big boys are my favorite. Honestly, and Ryan, I think you'll appreciate this. Throwing it back to the old Wilkes days, the possibility, again, we're doing some fantasy stuff now.
Okay.
Taking it back to the Wilkes days, imagine, if you will, both Jesus and Ray going to Worlds against Jezza. Just let that marinate for a quick
Kelly
second.
let's throw Kelly Britton in there too.
Let's go. Okay, let's throw Kelly in there
Canada's
too.
boy.
What's
yeah,
up,
fuck it. He's
Canada?
out of suspension. He's back. This is before he got popped. Let's throw
Okay,
him in
so
there.
We want to talk
Yeah.
about hold on. We want to talk about cheating here. Yeah. Want to talk about cheating here? You guys get mad about racing and fucking.
That's right.
What the fuck?
Hey,
All the
shut up.
time.
You shut
All
your
the
mouth.
time.
You
Let's-
shut your mouth.
I
let's
know.
have
I
fun.
know. It's like he's like your Bret the Hitman Hart in Canada.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
He is, man.
But
He was at one point.
Yeah,
it was like,
dude.
oh shit.
Right, when I saw when I saw a video of him like throwing out a puck at a hockey match, I'm like, this dude is like, he's that guy.
Hitman, yeah, not Kelly Brayton.
Yeah, like I was like, what?
Hitman. I for a second thought Kelly fucking Brayton, and I was like, no, Hitman.
oh yeah, I'm
all right.
like
Yeah.
Kelly Michael Brand throw out the first puck. That's-
Yeah, I'm like, holy shit. No, Hitman's huge in Canada, man.
Yes.
Oh, I'm a big Bret the Hitman Hart fan.
I read his autobiography.
He's my idol.
Me and Angelo could go on a spiel here, but I read his autobiography. It's freaking phenomenal. But this will
Is
turn
it?
into
I love Bret.
this will turn into a different podcast real quick. But yeah, man, we could talk stories. But
But
yeah, sorry, we deviated for a second there. Back to your for sure. If you had Ray, Jezza, and you throw in Jesus, and this is full on Ray, full on Jezza, squatting 1,000-pound Jezza, and then. Like if it was that time period where Kelly was still there, right? Just
Yeah.
fucks with me for a second. So it's before he got popped. So you insert Jesus then. Oh man.
Yeah.
And remember Luke Richardson before he left the world's strongest man, one European
Oh, you trying to
strongest
throw
man.
Luke in there too? That's what we're doing?
He was a junior,
Yeah.
and for a minute there, like it would be. The reason why the heavyweights are they're like it's Clash of the Titans, man. When you see these guys in real life, they're like, no, it's not even real. They're like,
They're
it's
so
crazy when you
big.
see them.
And they're all so nice. That's hilarious, bro. They're
Yeah,
all like the
super nice
nicest
guys.
dudes.
I got
Yeah,
a
man.
picture of me talking to Ray. They told me to interview him after he'd won, and I look like a fucking child. And I'm like, I am never posting that. I look like a fucking child, man. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
man.
They're like, here's your picture. I'm like, fucking delete it. What do you want me to do with
Like,
that?
yeah, give me a stool. But yeah, that would have been, especially around, 2018, 2017, Jezza. I think, man, because that's what he was on. I mean, he's been on fire for quite some time, but dude, that 2017 Jezza, he was a different beast. He didn't get the love. He didn't get the love on the squats there in Belarus, but
In Belarus, I was gonna say in Belarus.
in Belarus, because he was moving stupid weight. Then I'm like, man, I mean, this guy is. But yeah, man, that'd have been fun to watch. Taking it back to the Wilts era for a minute there, man. We had to do a little fantasy powerlifting. But yeah, dude, to be 100 with you guys, that's really all I got, man. I really wanted to try to do this raw and equip, recap of nationals, man, and just kind of take a stroll down memory lane, man. Again, big congratulations to you, Angelo, man. You put on a show for sure, brother. Obviously, Ian, you've been given all the flowers, especially with this panel. You put on a show of all shows, man, and really, it's weird to talk to somebody, this much younger than me, to be like, you're an he's a living legend. It's cool to watch, your evolution, as a man, as a lifter, man, and how many of us, just look up to you and the output you've had over the years, and how consistent you've been over the years. Again, my man, Reggie, thank you for being on. Darrington, you said about 8 words. That's more than the normal 6 you do. I appreciate that. X is always gonna X. You know what I mean? The click's not the same without you. We appreciate you, Greg. I appreciate you coming on for the 5 minutes that you did. And finally, last but not least, Six Pack, brother. Thank you so much. You've been turning out more content than really anyone right now. So I know you had to pencil us in to really make this happen, man. And I know it's a little late on your end, so I appreciate you for hopping on, man. Yeah, dude. Everyone, if you have any final words, man, here's your chance. You know what I mean? You have any final words, any parting words for the people, the few that are still left watching, for those that are going to be watching it later?
I just want to say something real quick. I want to give a shout out to my training partner, my state chair, Scott Dobbins.
Absolutely.
Got his first open title.
Absolutely.
At this meet. Put up a fat total. Secured a spot for the world team, hopefully.
Beautiful squat.
I shout him out. Squatted 414 keys. Insane.
Beautiful too.
And got his first open title.
Proud of you, bro. Yeah. Congrats, man.
It was a pleasure to be on this pod with y'all.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, brother.
I would say echo thanks for putting this together, Les. I mean, this was pretty cool. We got we covered a lot, man. We did a lot of talking. We covered a lot of things. This was fun. Thanks, I think it's good because once you start going around, like we haven't all had a chance. Like I talked to Angelo and yourself, but you get to know people and their personalities, and I feel like we're warming up now and getting more and more comfortable, and we can keep doing these kind of things together. And
absolutely. We'll the thing is, me and the bros, we do these all the time, these live podcasts, man. I mean, we'll definitely have you back on, man. Like we can go all day. But I appreciate you being on, man. Like I think, and I know I speak for Angelo when I say, for those of us that do, podcasts, especially, we've been in and out of the powerlifting community, man. You've really set the tone in terms of, the type of content that needs to be put out, the type of questions that need to be asked. And I think at the end of the day, the type of exposure that can be given, to our sport, as small as it might be in comparison to others, it's a growing sport, but it doesn't grow without word of mouth. It doesn't grow without listening ears. It doesn't grow without seeing eyes. And I mean, you've given a lot of exposure on your end, man, and you continue to do so. Again, man, it's always an honor having you on.
Let me respond to that. We are like small, right? Powerlifting niche, but we are way stronger together.
Absolutely.
So when people talk to me about like other podcasts and shit, it is not, I don't have a famine approach. We got to keep doing these things together and keep bumping each other up and keep like having this, positivity and attitude. Like we are together on this, man.
Absolutely.
We are stronger together, man. So like, I mean, I got all your backs, like I'll repost, and whoever comes to King of Lifts, man, I will shout out projects and whatever the shit's going on.
You hear that?
And I'll keep doing this. You come on, we can come on King Lifts and keep cross promotion, whatever.
Oh yeah, we can do this all day,
We
every
will
day.
bump
You know,
this
I'm
up,
not,
fellas.
because we still, y'all, you're still due for another podcast because you got to get this, you got to get that song in. It's got to happen at least once a quarter.
Once a quarter, that's right.
At least
That's
once
right.
a quarter, we got to get you in.
We need a summer jam.
Absolutely. Darrington, do you have anything?
Nope. Except I would go back to my Mount Rushmore and put David Ricks in there.
My man.
But
Oh
that's it.
shit, he's 61 years old or maybe 62, squatted 701. Holy
62.
fudge, what are we talking about? 62. That's
He
insane.
had
That's
a
a good call.
very good meet. That was well
He
executed.
lost me some money. I made a bet with Joe Stanek on his third attempt there, and yeah,
You know
I
what?
lost.
I love
I thought he would get a 2 red light lift on his lockout, but nope, lost some money there.
How dare you bet against Superman?
I am a terrible gambler, so everything that you guys ever see me take the opposite.
Take
I'm a
opposite.
notoriously bad gambler.
Oh my God. X, you got anything for the people, my man?
Man, I just appreciate, everybody being here, giving their opinions. It was a good time. And again, I just want to say I do appreciate the opportunity I was to be out there, to be in the position I was in, helping Greg and just being in Ian's corner. I've known Ian and Greg and you through like my whole time I've been lifting and whatnot. I don't conversate with everybody in the powerlifting world or whatnot, but y'all specifically or whatnot. If y'all there, I'm right there. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
and I ain't
that.
nobody big in powerlifting. I just like the sport or whatnot. That's why
We
get
all love
passionate.
the sport, man. I appreciate you,
I
bro.
had my fun and my good time, my time when I was decent, but it was just good. It was
Right
just
back
good
at it.
out there, man. It was a good time. We got to touch on a lot of things on here, and I ain't that bad, people. LS makes me think I'm, the black sheep of the podcast. I ain't evil out here in these streets, man. I'm just
let that
honest.
slide. I was finna
And
get
I
you.
am
I'm
willing to speak on whatever.
I'm gonna let that slide. Okay, cool.
Like I was gonna unload the chamber on the podcast,
Bro,
man.
quit lying. You just trying to go opposite, trying to be contrarian. Angelo, you have anything for the people?
Of course, man. I got to thank you for doing this. Like Ryan said, man, it's so good when we get this content wheel turning a little bit because that's what powerlifting needs. And like he said, we're stronger as a group. So I thank you for putting us together for this. And, I'm happy to see where powerlifting is going. Where
Absolutely.
I see what King of Lifts is doing. Two White Lights is, kind of doing the same thing. We're trying to create the hype. We're trying to create the hype for every meet that's coming because that's what powerlifting deserves. And they deserve stuff like this.
Yeah,
they
man.
deserve stuff that you're putting out there as well. So I'm happy to talk to you, gentlemen. It's always, I just got to thank you. It's always a pleasure for me to have a cigar and beer and talk powerlifting.
I appreciate you, brother. Always, man. I thank you so much. Reggie, my man.
What's up?
What you got?
Man, this was dope. So hope we can do it again. That's pretty much it. This shit was dope.
I also want to shout out USAPL. As much as we speak on everything they did, I'm gonna say again, I was happy with the meet. Like being removed from that stage for that long, I was like, damn, the growth. I was like, y'all. I mean, you guys go all the time. You're way more active than I am or whatnot. It just looks so different to me or whatnot to see how they handle it. I was like, man, it looks very promising. And I hope that, with everything that's going on with IPF and everything, I hope that the momentum still swings in a good way or whatnot, even beyond, like without that, if it goes that or whatnot, with or without it or whatnot.
Yeah.
Keep
Six Pack said it best. We're better together, stronger together. So hopefully we can keep it sticking, man. You guys, thank you guys so much. I was checking to see if Greg was around. I don't know that Greg. Yeah, Greg's not here.
No.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you fellas. I appreciate everybody that watched. We had a bunch of people watching, and not a lot of people watching, and a bunch of people watching, and just people trickling in and out. Everyone that asked questions, we thank you guys for that. Big shout out to Greg Page, man. I honestly did not know how much work that man did That dude does a lot of work, man. And we thank a lot of people. Obviously, shout out to Gino. But I really want to give a special shout out to Greg Page, man, because I really got a chance to kind of sit back and watch all the stuff he does behind the scenes, and he does a lot. And I can tell you right now, the production, all that stuff, that was all awesome. Shout out to everybody with as far as production, everything. But a special shout out to Greg Page, because all that stuff in the back, all of the warm up, all that equipment, all that stuff does not happen without him and his people putting it together, man. So I thank you for that, man. And this guy drives literally halfway across the country, you know what I mean, and sets stuff up and gets it ready for us, and then breaks it all down and takes it away. So thank you guys for that. Yeah, man. And last but not least, Anthony Harris, you were sorely missed at this Nationals, bro. So we'll hope to see you again. But you guys, thank you so much. Everybody that watched, thank you guys so much. Yeah, man, I think that's it. Yeah. We'll catch y'all on the flip, man. Y'all be safe.